All right. What is up, LFA TV? Welcome back to Matta. In fact, I am your host, Ryan Matta. We have a great interview planned for today. One of our good friends and new buddies, Flat Earth Dave. He goes by Flat Earth Dave. Do you go by a last name or is it just Flat Earth Dave?
Well, my last name's Dave. My first name's Flat Earth.
I like it. I like it, man.
Dave.com,
Flat Earth Dave.
also known as David Weiss. All right. But
I'll,
if you want to find me, I noticed people do podcasts and at the end they go, oh, my Facebook is this and my Twitter's this and my Rumble's this. And nobody remembers anything. Okay. All you have to remember is flatearthdave.com right there. Flatearthdave.com. Yep. And that brings you can contact me. You can book me for a show. You can check out my app. You can check out my videos. You can check out the crash course. You can check out Flattoberfest. Where are you located, Ryan?
Michigan, Detroit.
You know that we're having a conference of October 21st, 20 and 21st in Vegas.
No, I didn't.
Las Vegas, October 20th and 21st. It's going to be amazing. You can find all the information at flatearthdave.com. It's called
Dave. Go ahead.
It's called Flattoberfest. That's all.
Flattoberfest. I dig it, man. Well, Dave, it's such an honor. I'm very, very new to the flat earth. We were just kind of having a conversation a few minutes ago. And he goes, how long you been into the flat earth? And I'm like, a couple weeks. And he's like, oh, and I started going, I was like, no, let's record. So I was like, but before that, I had told him, I said, and all the research I've been doing and going through all these videos and just trying to consume hours and hours of flat earth content. You are the legend, my friend. You're in almost every video. You're referenced in pretty much everything. And don't leave early because I'm going to show you an app that is absolutely going to blow your mind. And you can download it in the Apple iTunes Store and Google, correct?
Yep, Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
And when you do, promo code is going to be Matta, Matta. But we're going to get into that. But before we do, I want to hear a little bit about your story, Dave. So why don't you tell me where you grew up, where you were raised, and we'll start at the beginning. We'll kind of work our way up to the flat Earth.
It's funny. I was born in Fairfield County on the East Coast in Connecticut, and that's like the rich bubble, if you will, right? I don't consider myself rich, and I try all my vacations. I go to the Puerto Rico, and I go to Hawaii, and I go to California, and I always said before I was a flat earther that I live in a bubble. Right? Because I never see middle America. I never see any of these other places. They just fly from end to end. So I live in a bubble. And the funny thing is, I think we do live in a bubble. And so, my quick story is, I normal kid growing up, graduated high school, went to college, left college, went out to work like everybody does and worked my way up through a couple different businesses. I was in the printing business for 20 some odd years. And then I switched to the solar power business. Kind of dominated there, started my own solar power, commercial solar power development company. And at the same time, I was doing a little podcast called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, exposing people to deceptions of this world. It started out with the Federal Reserve. I'm like, and what is money? And that kind of ballooned out. And I ended up doing this podcast out of New York City. And then I was introduced, people started sending me flat earth stuff. Dave, have you looked into flat earth? And I'm like, oh, delete, you're a joke, get out of here. And then they kept doing it and I banned them for life because I don't have time to deal with somebody that stupid to say the earth is flat. Of course we know it's a ball, right? Spinning through space and and everything else that it does. But then another researcher who I trust very much said, Dave, I think the earth is flat. And I'm like, you are kidding me, not you too. And I looked into it. And for 2 weeks, I tried to debunk it. I just literally said, all right, this is baloney. This is nonsense. And as you probably know, 2 weeks ago, you were probably trying to debunk flat earth and prove the globe. That's how you become a flat earther.
Took me 2 hours.
2 hours. Right. Nice.
That's it.
Nice. Well,
that is it.
The number one thing that got you? Was it the nonsense of the helio-nonsensical model?
What got me was you asking in one of your videos, how does water stick to a ball? That was the big eye opener for me when you started talking about gravity and how, and then from there, well, actually the funny story is I'm here for the exact same way you are. I got into all of this for the Fed, learning about money. And once you learn how money works and you learn what a scam fiat currency is, you just start going down the rabbit hole and you start realizing everything is a lie. But it was the how does water stick to a ball? And then I watched some debunking and garbage videos that were just obviously didn't make any sense, and they were just talking with Fauci science. And then I was just thinking to myself, we can send somebody to land on Mars. We're going to build civilizations on Mars, but nobody can go into like a laboratory and recreate the Earth and show me how water sticks to a ball. And then from there, it was just one thing after the next, after the next. But yeah, that's how I got there.
On the globe side there is, that's because you can't, pouring water. I hate when flat earthers pour water on a basketball or on a tennis ball and say, why doesn't the water stick? And the answer is, in the gravitational model, is because it's not big enough to hold the water on with the gravity, right? You have to have something to do that test. You have to have something as big as the Earth, okay, to hold it. But as you said, it doesn't make any sense. Large bodies of water at rest lie flat. That is a proven, undeniable fact. And once you understand that, everything else falls apart. Right. So I was just showing you that model. We're spinning. You would have been in this 2 weeks. I give you a little test. How fast is the Earth spinning at the equator in the heliocentric model?
The Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour.
Very good. 1,000 miles per hour. And we're orbiting the sun in an elliptical path, speeding up and slowing down at an average speed of
67 million miles per hour, 67,000 miles per hour.
It's 66.6, 67, same thing. Right. And then we're chasing the sun at like almost 500,000 miles per hour, moving those three different directions at once, spinning, whirling, and twirling at these insane speeds, right? So let's put that into context. What's going on here? Hold on. Let's put that into context of what that looks like in reality. So here is the hypersonic sled track. Anybody can pull this up on YouTube. Just type in hypersonic sled track. You come up to this video. This is a test track with a rocket sled on it. And it's going to show it again. It's going to go by at Mach 8.6. Ready? Can't even see it, right? But if I had the sound on, it's shocking to you, right? It goes by so fast, your whole body, every cell in your body goes, whoa, right? So you can barely fathom this speed, let alone twice the speed. Okay. But this is only 1/10 of the speed of our orbit. We're traveling around the sun at 10 times faster than this. Okay. And we're chasing the sun 100 times faster than this. Okay. That's insane. Right. But then when we go out into nature, we see things like this. Right. What does your common sense tell you if you don't listen to the nonsense?
That the Earth's not moving.
This isn't moving. Tap your foot on the ground next to this lake and it's going to send a ripple all the way across it. Okay.
100%.
Get a dinner plate. Go in a car, the nicest car on the smoothest, straightest road you could ever find. Set the cruise control at 100 miles an hour. Get a dinner plate, fill it with water. Okay. Take the slightest turn, the slightest acceleration, or the slightest braking. And what's going to happen to that water? It's going to
off the plate.
Go right off the plate. Right. We're whirling and twirling at incomprehensible speeds. Oh, but it's so big. Gravity is holding it down. Baloney. Okay. Nonsense. We are perfectly still. Now, this water is contained. It has land all the way around it that is higher than it. Okay. It has land all the way around it. Right. So they tell us that Antarctica is a continent about 11 to 13,000 miles in circumference at the bottom of a ball, but no one is allowed to explore anywhere except the edge, which is weird, right?
It's really weird.
It's really weird. So for those of you that don't know, flat Earth isn't a disk floating in space. That's what they want you to think it is. We're a pond. We're just a giant pond with continents. These are islands in the pond. And the shoreline of the pond has to be higher than the surface of the pond. Well, Antarctica, many of you don't know, is the highest land basin on Earth. There's even claims that the mountains and the outskirts of Antarctica, as I'm saying out, not in, because Antarctica surrounds us. They say that there's mountains higher than Everest. I can't confirm that because nobody is allowed to independently explore. So people are Googling right now, well, trip to Antarctica. Look, there's 100 different companies that'll take us to Antarctica. They are, but they're all run by the Antarctic Commission. So they're all really one company, 100 shell companies competing against each other because they all work together. Okay. Kind of like everything else in this world. Right. And they'll take you from Santiago out here to a little island. Okay. Now, this little peninsula here is bigger than many countries, it's huge. Okay. They'll take you to a little island, and one of two islands, Deception Island or Rothschild Island. Those are the islands that they take you to. And they're gigantic. And they'll show you ice, they'll show you penguins, but they will not let you explore independently out this way. Why is that? Why is
Very
it?
good question. Why is that?
Well, the answer that they give you is, well, they don't, it's the only pristine place on Earth that they can't pollute, and we don't want to disturb the migratory paths of the penguins. Now, this treaty called the Antarctic Treaty went into effect in 1959, I think 1959, 1961, somewhere in there, when environmentalism wasn't even a word. Okay, nobody knew anything, right? And we could go and burn down the Amazon and the lungs of our world, but nobody's allowed to go to Antarctica, to the outer spaces of Antarctica, because we don't want to hurt the ice, right? Right? People, well, there's bases in Antarctica. Yeah, there's bases. Here are the bases. They're here along the edge, as I said. No one's telling you what's out here, what's out there, what's out there. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's something very interesting. Here's Google Earth, and I've got you do this, go onto your web browser of Google, right? If they haven't fixed the patch yet, and you can measure the area, shows right here, of anywhere. But when you try to measure Antarctica, watch what happens. You see that? It makes a loop, it flips out.
What
the loop all the way around, right? Let's try another place. So we'll go, let's go over, where are we going? We'll try Greenland, right? So I'll make a little line around Greenland. Oh, I'm doing the North Pole here. This is the North Pole. And the same thing happens there. Everywhere else, it'll give you the measurement. Everywhere else, it'll do the proper measurement, right? Here's Greenland. I'll do Greenland. No problem. There's Greenland. But the North Pole and the South Pole, the only two places you're not allowed to physically go, you're not allowed to virtually measure. They're trying, is that Madagascar? Yep. Works perfect. Nope.
Wow.
Works perfect, no problem. Works perfect, no problem. Okay. So this is a problem, right? The Antarctic Treaty, Admiral Byrd and Project High Jump went out to Antarctica, said there's land beyond the pole. What does that mean? Like from Middle America beyond the South Pole, that would be over towards Australia on the globe. Okay. Land bigger than the United States, filled with resources that no human has ever set eyes upon. Filled with resources at a time where we're having wars for territory and resources that no human has ever set eyes upon. And they go, nobody can go there. All the countries in the world agree on two things now. There's only two things in the world they agree upon, all the countries. Everybody can't go to Antarctica, can't go to the North Pole, and you got to get the thing stuck in your arm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The clot shot. You don't have to censor that on my channel.
Is it? Well, we're careful what we say here, because I want to put it on my YouTube channel.
Okay. Oh, okay. I got you.
No problem. So we can talk properly.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. So when you understand how that lie works, and when you actually think about it, the problem is people don't think, right? Like there's people you can show them unbelievable evidence, and undeniable evidence, and they will just short circuit. It's like they don't teach us how to think in school. They teach us how to memorize and regurgitate. Where do we get the information from? The Rockefeller textbooks. The Rockefellers who are quoted as saying, I don't want a society of thinkers. I want a society of workers. Okay. If you were, if you were the elite families that are running the world, are you going to educate all of the serfs all of the useless eaters to challenge your authority? Or are you going to teach them to be good little worker slaves?
Nailed it. Why is that? Why do you think that island is called Rothschild Island?
Because and again, when we talk today, we don't need to go beyond 60 degrees south, which is the limit where we're allowed to go. And we don't need to, we can't, and we don't need, we're going to speculate about what's above us and what's beyond there. That's speculation. We don't need to go there to prove the earth is flat. We can do that without leaving our yards. It's that easy. Okay. But it is interesting to speculate out there. And I kind of think, that there are controlling families, civilizations, whatever, on lands that we're unaware of. They could be within our pond, or they could be beyond the shoreline of Antarctica and other inhabitable continents. We have these world leaders that go to Antarctica all the time, and they go to South Pole Station, and then they're disappeared for 3 days. Their itinerary is blank, and then they're back at South Pole Station, and they go back home. What are they doing? Are they getting their marching orders from the real people? Right?
Mm-hmm.
You know about the North Pole, right? No planes do fly towards the North Pole, but then nothing goes over the North. And they say, well, that's because the magnetic anomaly, makes the planes, not function. So you have to stay a couple thousand miles away, right? But there's some old video of the North Pole where there's like a vortex and a hole, and you can see the wind patterns. I'll show you. Well, I don't know if it's going to show you right here. So on here on the app, I have this wind map, and let me go to winds. Where's winds? Wind. Okay, I'm on winds. There we go. We'll go up to a little higher. So here are the winds, right? But it's not going to show it today. But right in the center, you can see something blocking the winds. When there's winds that are going tight around the center, you can see something that's blocking the winds, and they call it the Rupus nigra, or the Black Rock. Who's controlling the world these days? It's called Black Rock for some reason, right? Right? It's crazy. It's crazy. And all compasses point to the north. No compasses point to the south, right? On a geodynamo ball model with a molten magnetic core. Again, that's like saying military intelligence, right? It's a misnomer, right? Because you can't have a molten magnet. There's no such thing as a molten magnet.
Yeah, magnets break down after you melt them, right? After they hit the melting point.
Hit the Curie point before they melt, and that is where they lose all their magnetism before they melt. But they tell us there's a molten magnet at the center. Okay, molten magnet at the center, right? And no one's ever gotten below 7.5 at 7.8 miles, whatever, less than 8 miles. Okay, that's like drilling through the skin of an apple. Okay, right? You got a quarter of the way through the thin skin. You were guessing what you were going to hit all the way through, and you were wrong every step of the way. Every time you predicted something with your ground penetrating radar, it was wrong. And then you hit an impenetrable barrier that you couldn't get through for years. But somehow the next 4,000 miles is this, when you couldn't even get through the part of the skin. Okay, this is pseudoscience. It's in every science book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when they tell you, well, the radius of the Earth is 3,589 miles, or whatever it is, close to 4,000, and these are the layers. This is just a guess. And even when they were using ground penetrating radar, they were wrong. So that's even worse than their predictions. It's literally pseudoscience.
That is another part that really woke me up. Watching you in the documentaries. What is the documentary called? Level with Me.
Level with Me. Yeah.
Wow, man. That was fantastic, man. It was really, really well put together.
Sean Hibler does some great stuff. On the app, which we'll get into in a little bit, there's a web button, which is called the More Resources page. And if you go down to here, FE Movies, you need to see every one of these movies. Okay, these are movies that are being hidden from you. Have you seen A Stranger's Guide to Flat Earth 21 Questions yet?
No, sir.
This is
And there's only literally 3 I could find on YouTube. That was it. And they were hidden. I had to look for those.
Yeah, and this is the go-to. It asks you the top 21 questions and 3 to 5 minute answers for each one of them. Bam, 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 bam. It is scientifically impossible to watch this video, understand it, which only takes 2 to 3 brain cells, and then still believe you live on a globe. But there's a whole bunch of videos, including the level series right here. Other great ones. This is one of my favorites. If you want like a movie night, you married, girlfriend?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Okay. So with a partner, with your friend, whatever, you got Flat Earth, the ultimate litmus test by Marty Leeds. Phenomenal. Blow your mind. Right? These are amazing, amazing videos, and you'll find none of them by searching for them, because if you search Flat Earth Dave, Flat Earth Horizon Proof, Flat Earth top 10 proofs, you're going to get the same debunking propaganda nonsense videos by the algorithm propped up anti-flat earth trolls. Okay. So these videos here, it's impossible to watch a couple of them and remain a globie.
A globetard.
Well,
that's my favorite word.
I don't like, but yeah, they're globetards. All right. Globetards.
I was one of them. I can't hate, I can't blame them.
Oh, flat earthers, you'll never change your mind. No, excuse me. We already changed our mind, and we went with the unpopular decision. Okay. Mm-hmm. Asking us to change our minds to go back to the consensus, right? Consensus is not science, right? 100 people believe that 5 quarters equals 10 cents, and only one person believes that it equals $1.25. It doesn't make it right. The consensus, right?
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Why would you say that it's so hard for people to even open their mind up to the fact that the earth is flat? Is that just because we've been indoctrinated and brainwashed for so long, like we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, so the indoctrination is unreal. It starts early, right? What's every kid is put in front of Sesame Street. Here's and this is them rubbing it in our faces. Are you familiar with Revelation of the Method? Where the lead always tell us what they're doing. They have to broadcast it. They're not allowed to break our God-given free will. Look here in the fiction section, you have a globe and a rocket, and they're talking about fiction. And they have a globe and a rocket there. Isn't that crazy? What are the odds of that, right? But what I was trying to show you is one of the first worksheets you bring home from school as a little kid is the orbits of the sun, the moon, and the earth, right? The moon goes around the earth goes around the sun. They're teaching you that. Kids, when they have their celebration in most classes, the curriculum says to get the kid with a candle, have them sing and march on one more trip around the sun, right? They're the earth, and they made another trip around, literally impounding this Helios nonsensical model into their brains. You want to see how the indoctrination is? Go to find a 10-year-old boy, girl, and go, hey, you want to hear a secret? They're like, yeah, sure. Go, earth is flat. They will chop your head off. They will throw so much propaganda at you. They'll be like, no, it's not. They know more about that than anything else they're learning in school. Okay? Because if you have people believing that you live on a, spinning ball and you're flying through a giant universe, you no longer have your feet planted on the foundation, and your mind is spinning out of control, and you're much more easily controlled. It sounds like, well, what difference does it make if you believe it or not? If you don't know where you are, who you are, the power that you have, the true power that we have, and most people, even many awake quotation marks people, don't realize the true power that we have. And the only way they take it away is with fear. And they have us believing, we're going to be hit by an asteroid. Aliens are going to invade us. We're running out of food. We're running out of land. We're overpopulated. There's no more, it's all nonsense. It's all fear. And none of it is true, right? If the world was just the size that it is, flat or round, doesn't matter. Well, if it was round, we'd all be dead. But just if we just there was nothing else beyond Antarctica, there's 8 billion people, which I don't believe there is. I believe it's less than half than that, but doesn't matter. All 8 billion people, all 8 billion people could have an acre. I think it's every family could have an acre in Australia, and half of Australia would be empty, and the rest of the world would be empty. Okay. And anyone that's grown a garden, if you have a 20-foot by 30-foot garden, which is huge, you can feed your whole neighborhood. So don't tell me that we're running out of food. We're running out of water. Well, we're running out of water because they don't let us go down to primary water. Primary water is the oceans that are below us. Gaddafi found it. You know about Gaddafi and the man-made river? Write this down. The Great Man-Made River. And on my YouTube channel, DITRH. DITRH stands for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. Search, search in my thing for Muammar Gaddafi, Great Man-Made River. And I have 2 videos I made. They're 5 minutes long. All my videos are like 5 minutes. Okay. And you will be shocked and horrified that you didn't know about this and that we destroyed it. One of the greatest men to ever rule a country. And we were taught that he was a scoundrel, a horrible person, and the complete opposite is true.
And Gaddafi was the one who was planning to take them off the dollar standard too, as well, correct?
That's one of the reasons they took him down. But I'll give you a quick thing about the Great Man-Made River. He was drilling for oil, and he hit an ocean of pristine ancient water below the desert, and an ocean, not a reservoir, an ocean. And he decided to create the greatest aquifer project where he was having these giant pipes, like pipes that you can drive a truck through, buried in the desert, and he put them all across Africa. It took him 40 years, okay, to build this thing and then any family that wanted to have a farm, only kind of organic farms, they got water, cattle, seeds, tractors, everything they needed. And all these organic farms are popping up all across Africa. He was going to feed all of Africa. Libya was the poorest country, most undereducated or, illiterate country in Africa. And he rose them to almost the top, right? Free electricity, gas was 14 cents a gallon. The government will buy any car for you, 50% of whatever car you want to buy. Education was free. Higher education was free. And healthcare was free. And if they couldn't do it there, they'd fly you to another country to get it done. Okay. One of the greatest leaders of all time. So when he finished the Great Man-Made River, the United Nations, run by, Obama and Clinton's, and they blew it up with depleted uranium bombs, destroyed it. And you never heard about it in the news.
Never once.
Never once. A great man-made river. Gaddafi, and here's what got me into it. Gaddafi used to drive through the streets, standing up out of his sunroof, waving to the people, walk through the crowds, high-fiving people, hugging people. I had to go. I was late for an appointment, and I tried to get on I-95 here in Connecticut, and there was cops blocking it. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? I can't get on. And I go down to the next exit. It's blocked also. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, oh, Obama's coming through anytime now. And you have to wait until he comes through. No other cars can be on the highway with him. And like 15 decoy cars come in. So who's the horrible dictator? Okay, the guy that needs 15 decoy cars and can't be on the highway with other people, or the guy that walks through his people with his arms out like this, hugging people. Okay. Crazy.
It is
the
crazy.
rabbit hole is endless.
Now, in your movies, I also saw you going over a bunch of declassified or quote unquote leaked documents from NASA and the CIA. Can you tell us a little bit about, how NASA got started, what the CIA's involvement was with it, and how hard is it for normal people like myself to find these declassified documents? I've searched, I can't tell you, in the last 2 weeks for these declassified documents, I found one. They are hidden. They are hard to get my hands on. How are you guys accessing all these?
So that's funny that you mentioned that, because let's go back to the app for a second. So on the app, if we go to, where did I put them? On the frequently asked questions page, and then there's are all scientists and are all space agencies in on it? No, not that one. Are all scientists in on it? Where'd that go? I thought there was one that said all scientists. Are all scientists in? Here? Was it there? Let me look. Um, and I have the a video that goes through all of the documents, but actually they're not. It's not there. It's somewhere else. But I'm actually adding a button that's going to link to a Google Dropbox that has all those files on them. I have them all.
No way. How many are there total? If you just had to take a guess, ballpark.
There's tons. There's tons. Pastor Dean Odell, if you know who he is,
Mm-hmm.
a fantastic presentation. A fantastic presentation on it, and he's got tons of them. But they keep moving them. They keep you go and links are they change the links and stuff. But we have them all downloaded. And basically, they're just talking about everything is done on a flat, assuming a flat non-rotating plane, So, and NASA was started by a bunch of witch doctors, essentially. Where's my NASA origins? NASA was started by a Nazi scientist, Werner von Braun, right? And about him and his gravestone.
Yeah, I've seen this in your videos, but go ahead, tell us about it for people that don't know.
Werner von Braun is a Nazi rocket scientist. So was brought over in Project Paperclip. Cool story. I don't believe it. Because there was no space race. It was all the Russians and the US and everyone else. They're all in it together. But their psyop was they're bringing over the scientists here, and he ran NASA. And on his gravestone, now is this a whistleblower or a revelation of the method or just a poke in the eye? I couldn't tell you. And it says Psalms 19:1, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Okay, why would a NASA scientist or NASA, the head of NASA, why would he have that on his gravestone other than to, give us a poke in the eye, I think. And then the founders of NASA, Ronald Hubbard, founder of Scientology, Walt Disney, right? Walt Disney, come on. Werner von Braun, ex-Nazi, Jack Parsons, right? And Aleister Crowley, one of the most wicked men in the world. NASA. Get out of here. Those aren't, this is NASA.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. It goes on, dude. 2 weeks. I thought you were going to say like a year. So wait, check us out. Elon Musk. We're going to go all over the place here.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it, man. I'm down.
So this is Elon's SpaceX rocket that's going to go to Mars. This is a prototype that he built, right? Mm-hmm. But in 1957, Werner von Braun wrote a book called Project Mars about a rocket that was going to take a whole bunch of people to Mars, and they were going to start a society there. Okay. Does it look similar? A little bit. Elon made a tweet. I like my design, but I want to make the nose a little pointier. Interesting. But the more interesting part is in 1957, when Werner von Braun wrote that book, there was a group of people going to Mars. And guess what the leader of the group's name was?
What's that?
Elon.
What?
Yeah.
What year was that book wrote?
1957. A guy that's going to take people to Mars with the name Elon.
Dude. what are the odds of that, man?
This is all a scripted reality or a simulation. I hate saying it's a simulation, but man, it sure makes things more explainable if you say it's a simulation.
So with SpaceX and what he's doing, so
oh boy,
my one question here is, can you go? So they won't let you fly over the Arctic Circle.
Yeah,
but we see really rich billionaires like Ghislaine Maxwell and all of these elite people have this weird fetish with submarines. So can you go under it is my question.
Stories about Nazi submarines down there. And very interesting. I'm a believer in the underworld and the, the subway systems in New York City. They were here. Before we said that we built them. Years ago, they were going to build, I think it was the number 6 line, and all of a sudden it was built. It was already there. They just renovated it. Okay. It was from a previous civilization. Right. Have you gotten into the old world civilizations yet?
Not yet, but keep going, man. Fill me in on anything you can. I'm like a sponge right now.
So on the app, on the more resources page, if you just scroll down to lost history, this is good.
Yep.
And another one is biogeology by Stellium 7. Is that right there?
Hmm.
Right.
Yep.
On the homeschool page, um, this guy is great. This 10, 15, 20-minute videos on old buildings and the story behind them. And it's hysterical. It's unbelievable. It's called My Lunch Break. And just watch this. And they're all here. You can just go. And by the way, any videos that you find on here that you like, subscribe to that channel and hit the bell. And you may
Yep.
not stay subscribed or get notified, but at least you can start, get it going there. You have John Levy here once a week, every Sunday he puts out a new video. Mind blowing stuff. And again, take it all in, look at it for yourself, and you're going to find that there's these old world buildings right in your hometown. They're everywhere, and you look at them like that doesn't make sense. How is this stuff built when they had horses and buggies, and why are the roads made of mud? And you realize that these people founded these cities. Means legally they found them. They didn't build them. Founded doesn't mean built. It means found. When you see
Wow.
in 1857, it was found. Yeah.
Dave, so tell everybody about this app real quick. So we keep referencing this app. I want to show everybody. I'm going to have a promo code if you guys download this app. The code is going to be Matta, Matta. And Dave, you built this app. Well, you had a team or people help you build this, but this is your app that you, I believe, designed and
Yep.
and put together. It's one of the most elaborate and well put together apps I've ever seen. Why don't you walk us through it?
I will. So I'll give you the quick story behind it is
Yeah.
out and and when you wake up to the understanding that we don't live on a spinning globe and the earth is a level horizontal plane, you just want to share it with everybody because sharing the truth is a really good thing to do. And flat earthers aren't depressed because we no longer have that disconnection with our soul going, hey, wake up, it's not a ball, right? And people just ignore that their whole lives. And we just want to share it with other people. So I would always be trying to pull up pictures. Damn, where's that picture? And I'm scrolling through pictures and I'm looking for a video and I can't find a video now. And I said, and then I was trying to show people like, here's a model, the sun goes around and the moon. And I was like, I'm going to make an app and I'm not even going to publish it. I'm just going to have it on my phone. But everyone I showed it to said, wow, where can I get that? So I put it in the app store. It was free. And then the people were like, hey, can you add this? Can you add that? Can you add this? Can you add that? And then YouTube started censoring all the videos. So I added the video of the day. Every day there's a new video right here that YouTube won't share with you, but I will. Okay. And so it started costing me a lot of money, thousands and thousands of dollars. So I said, I'll charge $3 for the app. One-time charge, $3. Pretty good. Okay. And then it got bigger and bigger. And we'll go through a bunch of the features. But then I added a subscription for some higher end features. But you don't need the subscription, but you're going to want it. And the subscription's $11 a year, or you can trade in 11 referral points. I'll get into all of that. Okay. So here's the app. The sun goes around once a day, keeping track of the hours and the days. The moon, I'm going to speed it up, goes around keeping track of the weeks and the months. The sun will lap the moon every 28 days. So you see it's getting farther and farther from the moon, and the moon is getting bigger and bigger. And so the weeks are tracked by the weeks and the moons. There used to be 13 moons of 28 days, which is 264 plus 1 day to reset. And that was our year, but they hijacked our calendar. Okay. And then on top of that, we have the stars that are going slightly faster than the sun to the point where they lap the sun once every 365 days. So the sun will slowly drift back into each zodiac for about a month. That's when they say, when you were born, I was born in Cancer, the sun was in the Tropic of Cancer when I was born. That's my sun sign. I used to laugh at astrology, but now I laugh at astronomy. Astronomy is pseudoscience. Astrology is the real science, okay? So that's just the beginning of what the app does. every day I told you the featured video here. If you missed the videos, you go here and you can pull up by sorted by year and month all the way back to 2018. These are all videos that you won't find on YouTube. If you have questions, you hit the frequently asked question button right there, the question mark, and up come, hey, what about, if I say, what about eclipses? I'll click the eclipse button and up comes videos that are hidden from you on YouTube, right? If you want to know about eclipses actually prove the earth is flat, not the other way around. They tell you, well, how do you do an eclipse? Well, the eclipse isn't what you think it is. It's not the Earth's shadow on the moon or the moon blocking the sun for a solar eclipse. I encourage you to watch these two videos here, which are videos that I made on my DITRH channel, but you'll see them in the eclipse there. Watch all of these, and then each one you'll watch, you'll have more questions than before. Okay? Don't think you're ever going to be like, oh, I got it now. Now what am I going to do? Flat earthers are never bored because every day there's more to learn than there was the day before, even though we learned a ton of crap the day before. All right. So going back here, there's I have the images page, right? And we're adding tons of images. Before I had the images all kind of organized in groups and you still had to scroll looking for them. But let's say someone's like, what do you mean there's no photos of Earth? I could just type in Earth. And here are a bunch of images that relate to, no photos of Earth. Like, look at this one, right? And then I can click here, share it with anybody in any means that I want. But here's the United States, and here's the United States. What happened? Right? Why does it look like that?
Somebody got better at Photoshop.
Yeah, I don't even think that's Photoshop, right? And like this one here, right? Look at this. So this is the photo of Earth. And here's all the land that we see. And all of that other land is on the other side of this ball. All of this other land has to be on the other side of that ball for that to be a real photo. Okay. Right. Here's 9 pictures from NASA. Which one do you like? Okay. Which one? Here's the blue marble is on everyone's iPhone. Then they come out with this, right? These are all just paintings. Right? So that's the images section. There's a homeschool section if you really want to get into it. Schooling Globers. Each one of those will blow you away. It's with Austin Whitsitt. If you haven't discovered him yet, blow you away. Here's a great one. This is I'm the Improbable Dreamer on Instagram. All about the old world. He does these short little Instagram videos. Mind blowing. Sit back and watch the last 20 of his videos. You're forget it. You thought the rabbit hole. There's no bottom to the rabbit hole. So just enjoy the fall because there's no bottom. All right. So it goes on and on and on. But my favorite part is the friend finder, right? And the friend finder, when you're a flat earther, there's 2 things you want to do. You want to wake up everyone you can to the reality of this world. And you also want to hang out with other like-minded people. And you're like, man, it used to be a few years ago, people were like, oh, it's so lonely being a flat earther. I can't talk to anybody. I don't know what's going on. Well, these are the flat earthers that are near me, okay, that have my app, right? And I could click on one of their names and on one of their dots, and I could look at their profile. I could, I'll pull up one here. Here's one. I'll pull up their profile, and up comes. This person hasn't filled it out yet, but you can, you can find people. You can go into groups. You can have chat messages. If I go into the chat right here, and so these are my chats, right? Just like regular chats, kind of like Telegram. Yeah. And should I show people that? How about the video calls?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here's a group I called beta test, and this is where I was testing people. And I would say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do a video call so I'm ruining the magic, so you can see how I'm really set up. And so now it's everyone's got a message, a push notification. Hey, there's Dave started a call. So if you give him a couple seconds, people will jump on here if everyone's available. Here comes there's one. And you guys won't be able to hear unless I hold the microphone here. Can you say something?
Let's go, Dave.
There you go. You can hear. So I'm on a show. I appreciate you jumping on. Um, and you can have these great conversations. You just jump into random conversations. You can call somebody. You can do all sorts of stuff. Where are you located?
Florida.
Florida. Nice. Nice. How you liking the new version of the app with the profiles?
I absolutely love it. I'm a beta tester. It's awesome, man.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Thanks so much. I'm going to go. See ya.
Dude, that's so freaking cool, man. Oh my gosh.
There's so many things that yeah, and it's just a great way. There's already people that have, there's people that have had babies already, let alone just met each other. So, and then also like if I go into the profile section, one more thing. There's people that have found like-minded people that have gotten together. They've gotten married. They've had kids. There's people that have started working together. There's people that are prepping or doing whatever or just become best friends. There's, I showed you earlier when I'm on the map screen, I could say, all right, 50 kilometers. And it says, all right, there's 520 people in 50 kilometers. I could send them a group message. Everyone will get a separate message saying, hey, we're having a meetup at Rico's Pizza at 4 p.m. on Saturday. Bam, we did it last fall, and about 85 people showed up. And it's a great way to meet. And by the way, I've never met a blue dot I don't like. Okay? Right?
Yep.
Everyone is awake and aware. The conversations are phenomenal. So here's my profile. I got some more friend requests I gotta respond to, but I can search for people. But in your profile, you can put all your keywords. So let's say I'm a real estate broker. So I wrote real estate broker, residential. I'm in Florida. Just putting all the keywords that I want. So if anyone says, hey, I think I want to move to Florida, I could search in real estate Florida, and bam, those person will come up. And guess what? I'd rather work with a real estate agent that is awake and aware to this world than somebody that thinks they live on a spinning ball, right? And you got your wall.
So
You can put images and stuff down, and and videos, post videos, whatever. And so when like if you're in a conversation with somebody on Comet Chat, you can go check out their profile, see if they're like, hey, you know what? Let me reach out to this person. Hey, this person is looking for a job, or hey, if you're a cook, a chef, you have a lawn care business, whatever, you can find the other people around you. So we're creating our own network. It's our own LinkedIn. It's our own Facebook, and it's only filled with purebloods that understand where we live. So there you go.
That is a fantastic app. Make sure you guys swing over to the Apple Play Store or the Google Play Store. It's on the Apple iTunes Store as well. You guys can download it. Promo code Matta. You got something else to throw in there, Dave?
And so there's already knockoffs. There's people. There's on the Google Play Store. There's Globe Trolls that have created a really horrible app. If you accidentally buy their app, before you ask for a refund, leave them a proper review. But if you want to make sure you're getting the right app, just go to flatearthdave.com. Gigantic banner at the top. Click it. The app's $3, a one-time charge. You do not need to subscribe. But if you want to support me and you want to enjoy some of the other amazing features on the app, subscribe. It's $11 a year. Or, I forgot to show you, in the referral area, and you're going to put in Matta, M-A-T-T-A, because when you download the app, first thing is going to say, do you have a referral code? Put in Matta. That way he gets a point. And the point just put you on the leaderboard. And it basically, I always say, when you're at the pearly gates and the God is looking at your scorecard, if you woke somebody up to the flat earth, you help them find the creator. You help them break away from the heliocentric model. So that's a point in your favor. So let's say you're right on the borderline of making it in. You show them your app and go, look, I've got 63 points. That could be the tipping point. I'm just saying, no, it's possible. It's a possible. Yes. You can't rule it out.
Okay? No, can't rule it out. Everything's on the table.
And then, hopefully we can get him on the leaderboard. And this shows the top 100 people. I did Man in America, one show. He got 237 people that signed up. And
he's in our network, right? He's on LFA TV. Do you know that?
No, I did not know that. So
Yeah,
that'll
that's
be
awesome.
that'll be a lot of fun. Um, and again, it's all fun. Now, why am I pushing this app? I'll tell you why I'm pushing it. Because even if it wasn't my app, I would push it because it is the single best tool that everyone has in their pocket at all times to help wake people up. Like you're stuck in traffic, you're waiting in line somewhere, you got some time to kill, right? Well, and you want to watch a flat Earth video, you're going to spend hours. You're going to spend the entire time looking for a good video. You're not going to find it because YouTube doesn't want you to see it. But they're all here on the app, all of them. Any good video that comes out is here. It gets featured on the app.
You want to know what's funny, Dave, is the first time I started to go down the flat earth rabbit hole, I was going to do a show on LFA TV. People kept asking me in the live chat what I thought about it. And I was just, the Earth's probably round. I don't know, but everything they've told us so far is a lie. I started going through all these conspiracy theories, and you start really learning how everything in your reality is pretty much a lie, or it's directly connected to a lie. And I got on YouTube and even on Twitter. Now that Elon's there, it's fairly better. I found a few clips on Twitter, but I scoured YouTube, couldn't find anything. I tried to do, I think I spent maybe 30 minutes one day watching all of the videos that I could collect from the places that I could find them that seemed somewhat relevant. And I couldn't even put together a full hour stream on it. And I was driving last week, and one of my subscribers actually sent me a link to Level with Me. He's like, "Have you ever seen this? You got to watch it." And I was like, "Oh yeah." I started to watch it for a second, but I got busy. And then I was headed down to California to expose how our government's trafficking children. Our government's actually running one of the largest child trafficking organizations funded by these NGOs. And I was going down to film one of these camps down there and speak with this whistleblower. And I had a really long drive, and I just started to watch Level with Me. And 2 weeks later, here we are, my friend. It's been a nonstop roller coaster.
The whole series, the next level, and Level with Me. I watched them. I'd watch them in reverse order. Level with Me first, and the next level, and that's a great start. And then there's a whole bunch of other videos by Sean Hibler on some short ones on that FE movies list. There's one called what the heck's it called? It's called One Shot at Redemption. It's only like 25, 30 minutes long. Fantastic. It's so good, right? The problem is getting a non-believer to, hey, will you watch this movie? Oh, that's 90 minutes. I'm not watching that. Trying to get somebody to watch something. So I start them off with my channel, my YouTube channel, DITRH. All my videos are under 5 minutes. Most of them are under 3 minutes. Okay. Start there. Bam, 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 bam. And then all you want is the longer ones and the longer ones. There's a button on the web button page on the app called The Lost History of Flat Earth. Have you watched that one yet? 5 hours. Mm-hmm. Okay, so check this out. This one will blow you away. By the way, why I'm here, this is a shot that I show pictures, all stuff, and I get emails all the time. Dave, where can I that picture you showed the other day? Can you send that to me? Right? And so you go here. I go to the image sections. What would you call that? What would you search for if you're looking for that picture? I just
rocket launch.
So
NASA rockets, SpaceX launch, something like that.
Yeah. So rocket. That's just wrong.
Oh wow, it's right there.
There it is. Yeah, it should be right there. There, right there. First one. So that's how you find it. So if you're looking for something that I showed, just search the app for it, and it's there, and then you have it also. But I was going back here to tell you, what was I talking about just before that? It was
the movies. I was talking about Flat Earth Level.
Yeah. Level with Me. What was I saying about it? God, I just had a brain fart. Maybe I'll remember if I go down here. So you go here, go to the movies.
You're saying watch them in reverse order, and then you're like, because.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's good. Watch them in reverse order. It really doesn't matter. But the right up near the top, this one is One Shot at Redemption, 25 minutes. It'll blow you away.
Oh no, you're on the 5-hour video. That's what you said.
Yeah. Woo, going down. I'm standing on a wobble board, right? Couldn't do that if you were spinning. So if you go to the web button page and scroll down right here. So when and there's a whole series here, but the first one is 5 hours. So you gotta hold on one second. I just gotta grab my power cord. Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead. Take it down.
All right. So people sent me this, and I'm like, 5 hours, man. And I watch everything at double speed because I just don't have time for anything, and I don't get to watch a quarter of what I want to watch because there's so much content. And I was like, I'm not watching that. And then someone else sent it to me, and someone else sent it to me, and I was like, I just had it on a back burner. Then one night, I was on a little after 11 p.m. I'm cleaning up, and I was like, looking for something to put on while I was cleaning up, and I said, let me put this on. 10 minutes later, I find myself sitting down, staring at the screen. Next thing I know, it's 4 a.m. And I'm like, what the hell? I watched it again that night. Okay. 5-hour video. I watched it again. Okay. Careful. Bring food and water. make sure you're in a good headspace, because this one is going to blow you away. It's going to bring you down all of the rabbit holes. Flat Earth mostly, but ancient civilizations and everything. So there you go.
It's funny that you had mentioned bring up flat Earth to a 10-year-old and watch them freak out. We were checking out at Walmart about 10 days ago. I was with my son. He's 9. He'll be 10 in October.
Yeah.
And he started talking about something about space. And I said, well, what if I told you that space wasn't what you thought? He's like, what do you mean? I go, what if I told you that the Earth wasn't round? And he's like, Dad. He's like, come on, Dad. And I'm like, no, I'm serious. If I could show you a couple of videos, what if? And he goes, well, how can the Earth not be round? I go, well, have you ever seen water stick to a ball? Have you ever seen a rocket that goes straight up, or do you ever see them they kind of curve like that? And it was like, I got his attention. He watched Level with me. He couldn't put it down. Like he was, and then it's funny as I post the video because he goes, well, Dad, what if what they told us in school about Christopher Columbus wasn't real? Do you think? I go, well, who would have created that lie? He goes, the government. I go, that's my boy.
Scroll down. We got Flat Earth experiments. If you hit that, the first video, this one right here that has the different color lasers on it, watch the video. Okay. Watch all of these videos. These are experiments. People are like, well, did you go out and measure it? Yep, we did. Okay. And we did it for you. Okay. And we did it because going out and measuring, it's better to do it when it's cold out. And well, that sucks. And you have to do it at night if you're using lasers. And you have to go 20, 30 miles away from the other person, and you have to have communications and batteries, and it's not easy, but it's done for you in detail. But this one will blow your mind. These lasers are at different distances, but when you look at them with the camera literally inches above the frozen lake, you can see all of the, this is just an illustration, but they're all on the same plane, where the bottom one should be like 50 feet below the other one. But they're all on the same plane. Shouldn't be able to see any of them, but we can see all of them. Watch the video. Okay, this is the one that will seal the deal forever. Okay, seal the deal forever. But one more thing on the shopping cart page, and when you download the app, you're going to get a pop-up that's going to show you. Let me see. Let me just turn off my app. See if it actually. If I didn't tell it not to do it anymore. It's not doing it because I told it not to. You get a pop-up, but for this right here, this is another movie I was in, my third movie, called Origins Untold. We had a screening in South Carolina a couple months, yeah, somewhere around there. And it just became available for download and purchase. It's $5.99. They're trying to get distribution. So if you're interested in Flat Earth and you want to watch a good movie, this is different than the Level series. Level series was awesome. I love it. But this is about a guy that heard the Earth was flat, couldn't believe it. So he decided to travel around the country talking to other prominent flat earthers. I was one of them. Mark Sargent, Jay Tolan, the Founded Brothers, and Shelley Lewis, and a couple others. And it's a human interest documentary. It's phenomenal. And if everybody could rent it and watch it with the family, $5.99. Everyone watch it together. Bring your friends. Watch it with your kids. Your kids will love it. Okay. And it's a real, I don't think there's any other flat Earth movie like this. So it's different, entertaining. It's only $6.
I want to watch. Me and my son have movie night every Saturday.
That's
That'll be our movie this week.
that's a great one. So it's right there on the app. You can download it, play it on your screen, big screen. And they're trying to show the distributors, and if they get to a big distributor, then it goes out to all the people that we want, that don't know about this stuff. They want to see that there's an audience willing to pay. So let's show them, everybody. Let's share it with everybody, and $6. It's like, you ever buy anyone a drink? You can't buy.
Skip your coffee tomorrow.
Yeah, skip your coffee tomorrow. There you go. Exactly. Take some Shilajit instead.
What'd you say? It's cheaper than a margarita. You going out and buying a margarita with no and not tipping the bartender?
And people are like, oh, subscription, $11. I'm like, it's like you bought me a margarita and you forgot to tip the bartender. People are like, spending $3 on an app. Who wants a round of shots of tequila? That'll be $75. Oh, no problem. And then how long do you have that for? Okay.
Yeah.
But not that I'm against tequila. That is my drink when I do drink.
So where did what are like the most common questions or rebuttals that people throw at you when you first start trying to tell them the flat earth? Where would you start with people? Like if you walk up to somebody and you're trying to enlighten them to the realization that the earth is flat, where do you even start?
I get that question all the time, and the answer is it's never ever the same. It's never the same for anybody. It depends on where that person's coming from. So what I do is I tell people, does this ball have curvature to it? Of course it does. It's a ball. Okay. It has curvature. And there is a formula that we could say, if I move 1 inch this way, how much off of that plane, off of that tangent will I be? There's formula that'll give us the information as we go around. Well, they tell us that the Earth is 24,901 miles around, and that has a curvature formula. There's actually 4 different formulas that are good. One of them, the simple version, is 8 inches per mile squared. First mile, there's 8-inch drop. Second mile, it's not 16 inches because it's dropping away faster and faster, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's 8 inches per mile squared. And the Globers will go, that is a parabola. Yep, it is. After like 3,000 miles, it becomes not accurate. But up to 2,000 miles, which nobody could ever see, we'll get into that. It's off by a couple of feet, I think. It's ridiculous. And by the way, with all of the other formulas, 8 inches per mile squared gives the globe the best benefit of the doubt. It says there's less curvature than there actually is. Okay. But, the first couple of 100 miles, it's dead on accurate. So here is a photo. Oops. That is not what I wanted to show you. There we go. Here's a photo from a mountain. Now, when you're on the ground, the air is the thickest. When you're looking over water, there's moisture and everything becomes distorted. There's refraction. Now, refraction, not bringing things up that are hidden, but just blocking your view. But when you're up high, the air is clearer, thinner, less pollution, thinner air, cooler, less humidity. And we could see all of these mountains. We can see there's 8 of them, okay? They're in their proper positions. They're the right shapes. They're not clouds. They're 100% provably the mountains. You can go to a place like this or this place and do it yourself. The tops of these mountains should be over 40 miles below a physical curve. Okay? My face is behind the physical curve of this ball. You can't zoom in and see it because it's a physical curve, right? Mm-hmm. We can zoom in and see these mountains. They should be behind 40 miles of curvature. There is no explanation for this other than they're magically all rising up, refracting, and they look clear as day, sitting right at eye level. Why don't they refract up higher so you're looking up at them? Okay? Why would they stop at eye level unless they are just on the earth plane? Right?
Yeah.
Then and people say, well, it's refraction, right? We have this shot of Chicago, which I'm sure you've seen, right across Lake Michigan, Chicago, 52 miles away. The very
every 10 miles, the Earth drops 662 feet or something like that, isn't it? Every 10 miles.
it goes more and more, more and more. At 10 miles, it's 66 feet. At 100 miles, it's 6,600 feet. Okay, it's exponential, right? There should be 1,800 feet of curvature at this. The tallest building, I think the top of this building might be 1,800 feet, or maybe it's less, but we can see all of them. And so this picture was on the news, and the weatherman goes, well, this is because it's a mirage. The temperature is colder and warmer and blah, blah, blah. This is not a mirage, right? A mirage, if it's on certain conditions, well, as the atmosphere changes, it would change. Here is a time lapse. Okay. Now this is hard to see. The buildings they're right here. And so this is going throughout the whole day into the evening. The buildings are still there. They're not miraging up and down. These buildings are behind a physical curve if the Earth is a globe. Okay. They're going and the sun is setting and you can see the lights coming on. They're there.
Get the fuck out.
They are. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to swear.
No, that's all right. The people say, well, the very bottoms are missing. The very bottoms are missing. Yes, the very bottoms are missing because they're blocked by imperfections and atmosphere on the ground. Like if you're looking, the ground ramps up to you. I'll show you. Let me show you. So the ground ramps up. Where am I going? Here we are. So this is a perspective grid. Okay. So here's the ground. It ramps up. The sky ramps down and the sides ramp in. And so there's your vanishing, almost to your vanishing point, right? So we'll put a guy here. And his eye level is right here on this line. Okay. And so now I put this mountain in front of him. The top of this mountain is thousands of feet above his eye line. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
The sun is way above the mountain. So now I'm going to push this mountain. I'm going to push the sun. It's going to go away. It's just going away. It's not going down. It's going beyond the mountain. Just like if you were standing next to a building looking at it and the sun is over your head and the sun is moving away, it goes beyond the building. It's not below the horizon. It's just blocked by the building.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the sun is blocked by the mountain. It's just beyond the mountain. Like if he climbed up to the top of the mountain, he'd be able to see the sun. Right. It's right there. It's right behind the mountain. So we move this mountain into the distance and it reveals. So we'll spread it. You can now see wider, fill in the foreground. This top of the mountain is thousands of feet above his eye in reality, but he sees it at his eye level. The sun is above there. So now we'll move the sun farther away and it's just going again beyond this. This is thousands of feet above his eye level. The sun just went beyond it, just like when you're looking up at that building and the sun goes beyond it. It's just beyond it. It's behind it. So now we'll fill in the clouds, and the clouds, the atmospheric deck, it also ramps down to eye level and it becomes another opaque line here. So the sun, so this mountaintop is thousands of feet above his eye level. These clouds are thousands of feet above this mountaintop, and the sun is above all of that. And as the sun moves away, it just goes beyond all of that. Goes beyond it. It's not below it. That's not the horizon. This is tens of thousands of feet above his eye level, but it looks like it's at his eye level. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
But people think that's going behind a physical curve of a ball.
That is such a good explanation. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That just made everything make sense.
It's really hard. It's hard to pull it together, right? And people say, well, if I go up higher, I can see the sunset again. That works on a flat earth, right? Here's a guy's eye level, right?
Yeah.
And let me see what I got here. And if he is watching something here and it goes below. This is his horizon, which could be thousands of feet above his head. If he goes up to the top of this building, he can now see farther. He can see the sun again on a flat Earth.
Yeah.
Right? This guy can see farther than this guy. Got it?
Yes. And if we were on a globe, they should be able to see the exact same.
Well, they say if you're on a globe and you got up higher, maybe you can see over a little bit, but if we're on a globe, we'd all be dead.
And why do you say we'd all be dead?
Because we're spinning in space with atmosphere adjacent to a void, a vacuum, which is scientifically impossible, right? You'll come across the video one day and go, oh, that's why he said that. So it's actually a taboo conspiracy video talking about how ridiculous the heliocentric model is. And he kept throwing in, the best way to tell that we're not on a spinning ball is because if we were, we'd all be dead. It was a funny video, and I just say it all the time. So,
and when you say heliocentric model, for people that are new, what do you guys mean when you say heliocentric? Can you give? I hear that a lot in the flat Earth. It took me a minute to do some research and dive into it, so I know people are going to be asking.
Yeah, the heliocentric is what they teach us in school. The helios is the sun; it's the center, and we're orbiting around it. That's called the heliocentric model. That's what they, in science, which is truly scientism, tells you that we live on the heliocentric model. We live in the heliocentric world. Okay. And so that's not the case. We are geocentric. We're not a disk floating in space. We're not a planet floating in space. We are the center. All of the luminaries in the sky are within the Earth system. While we're on perspective, let's stay on perspective for a minute. All right.
Yeah, let's go.
So what do you see here?
I see a boat, a pier, maybe a road into the ocean.
A boat, a pier. Did you say a pier?
Oh, I meant like a boardwalk, not a pier.
Yeah, a boardwalk. You got a boat, you got some clouds. Now, these clouds, in your mind, you know that they're the same height. It's just perspective that brings them down, right? Got a boat here. This grass could be the way, or maybe slightly higher than the pier, right? And the pier, of course, is higher than the water because the water would be going over the pier, right? This is an illustration also. And these lights are all the same size. They just look like they're getting smaller because of perspective. This is how we see, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Do you see the Great Pyramid of Giza?
No. Wow. What? Do that again.
This is the Great Pyramid of Giza. This is a photograph. This pyramid is way higher than this person, right?
Yeah.
Here it is. It's all how we perceive things. Okay. I'll do another one. Got another one for you. Okay. Let's see how smart you are. Got a yellow line, an orange line, and a red line. Which is the higher line?
I'm going to say yellow.
It's the highest line. It makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. Which one is the longest line?
Red line.
Red line. Okay. What if I told you you're wrong? Okay.
I believe you.
I'm sitting on my patio in Mexico, and this bush is about 5 feet above the deck. So I have this red line.
Mm-hmm.
This deck is the edge before the beach, the orange line, and this is the water, which is 10 feet below the deck. So this line is 15 feet lower than this line. This is about 6 feet across, maybe. This is about 20 feet across, and this is probably several miles. Okay. All right, let's see what you learned. You ready? So here we got a line. And I'm going to add some more lines. Right? These lines appear to be getting higher and higher. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Which is the highest line?
The highest as in height or the highest line? Oh shit. I'm going down that rabbit hole. I would say the highest line would be the very, very bottom one.
This one here, right?
Hmm.
In reality, you're wrong. They're all the same height. They're all the same height as.
Oh, got me. That's what I was wondering. I was like, height, length. I know length. I'm like, height, I don't know.
And when you look at it, this line here doesn't even make it between the two lights. So this line here, this is way longer, right? So these lines are all wider, 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 getting thinner, thinner, and thinner, smaller and smaller. This is how we see. Okay. And this also happens, you know, when you watch a huge moonrise, wow, look at the moon, right? If you catch a moonrise, it's gigantic. It looks amazing, right? Take a picture of it. It looks tiny. It looks horrible. It's like, what happened to the giant moon? You can't take
Yeah.
a giant moon, right? Next time there's a giant moon on the horizon, turn around backwards, bend over, look at the moon upside down through your legs, and it will be tiny.
What?
Rewiring your brain. Your brain makes all sorts of assumptions. It's how we navigate through this world, in this three-dimensional world, right? Where, you know, these are all the same height. Your brain has to know that to navigate, right? Your brain has to know that this area here is just as wide as this area here, okay, for you to navigate. So you're processing all this information, but you're seeing the world in a different way. And if you don't understand what you're seeing, um, you can't navigate this world. So again, the giant moon thing, it's quite amazing because one of the big arguments is, why doesn't the sun get smaller and smaller on your flat Earth, you know, as it goes away? And the quick answer is it does, but you don't always see it that way. But there's several things that are happening, and 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 they all affect how you see it. They all affect how you see it. There's magnification going on. There's the thing that your mind does that makes things bigger as they're closer to the horizon. There's a whole bunch of things. I'm trying to find my sunsets video. Oh, and I got another one. You're new. I got a lot. I can I can blow you away with a lot of things. Um, so
I got one for you in a minute when you finish this one. I got a question for you.
no problem, no problem. Um, here we go. So here's one in a soldier filmed this in Afghanistan, and the sun is just going away. It's not going down. It's going away. There's no humidity. It's dry. They're up on a high plane, and the sun's just going away, getting smaller and smaller, taking its light with it. This is just going away. Why do I have Paul McCartney up here? Because he's singing, "The fool on the hill sees the sun going down, but the eyes in his head see the world spinning round." Remember that song?
Yes, sir.
Never put it together before today, right?
Never.
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 Yeah. And there's all sorts of stuff. Like this is in Bulgaria. Okay. Now, is this sun just moving away, or is this photographer on the top of a ball falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound? Just making the sun appear to go down. Because if he's on the sun, he's falling over backwards, making the sun appear to go down. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this light, whatever it is, just moving away, taking its light with it? You're going to go with B, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, and there's tons of people that have taken the time and done these time lapses. Look at this sun. Are we spinning towards it, or is it just coming towards us? It's just coming towards us. Perspective is making it look higher in the sky, right?
Yeah.
Right. And have you ever seen my sun fade out?
I'm not. I might have, but
Forget what you were going to tell. You wanted to tell me something. So here's the sun. Pause for a second.
Yep.
We watch the sun. It's going down, 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 down. Now, if the Earth was spinning, it should just keep on going, and it shouldn't stop. But what it did is it went down, 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 and it stopped. I'm filming this. It's below freezing with my drone. Got it up super high, super clear day, and it just stopped. And I have this sped up like 2,500 speed. Okay. It's just sitting here. And now this you think is your horizon, but this is an optical horizon. It's a apparent horizon. And the sun isn't going down, it's just going away. And at some point, its light can no longer push through. Repeat it again over here. Its light can no longer push through, and it just takes its light away with it, going back and forth.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Dude.
There's a button
So how
on the app that has a whole bunch of those. Go ahead.
So my question was this. So we have a solar eclipse and we have a lunar eclipse. One is where the sun is in front of the moon and the other where the moon is in front of the sun, correct?
Is that are you trying to trick me?
No, I'm asking like I'm trying to remember what they taught us in school. Like I remember in school like making these little boxes and we'd go out there and watch a sun. Like if they're saying well, which one is where the moon is in front of the sun? If the sun is 92 million miles away, how is the moon getting in front of the sun? Or the sun getting in front of the moon for the opposite?
Well, they tell us that the sun is 400 times bigger than the moon and 400 times farther away. Therefore, they look like they're the same size, or maybe they're just the same size. Okay, kind of weird, right? So they tell us the sun's 400 times bigger, 400 times farther, and the chances of that happening are slim, and the chances of them lining up to form a solar eclipse are 0. Okay, but let's say it's 0.0001. The chances of them doing that a second time are infinitesimally small. The problem is there's solar eclipses all the time, and every 18 years they repeat the cycle again and again. They come in cycles and patterns, and every 18 years plus whatever number of days, the whole cycle repeats again and again like a perfect timepiece. All right. So this is a solar eclipse is when allegedly the moon goes in front of the sun. But nobody has ever seen the moon approach the sun, eclipse the sun, or exit the sun. Right? If we had the moon eclipsing the sun, you would see the moon coming to it. Well, the sun's so bright, you can't see it. It blinds you. But when there's a total eclipse, it's dark where we're watching, right? You're looking, and we should be able to see the moon with some way. I mean, with a zoom lens, with a infrared, with your naked eyes. And we're told that we see the full moon because of the light that's bouncing off the moon coming to Earth. And if you go out in the middle of nowhere and there's a full moon, you can read a book. It'll cast your shadow on the ground. Well, the Earth is 6 times bigger than the moon, and with all the water, it's a lot more reflective. So when you're looking at a total solar eclipse, from the moon's point of view, there's a full Earth because the sun is shining on that whole side of the Earth. So that Earth shine should be lighting up the moon. You should be able to see the moon. No one's ever seen it. But when we look at eclipses, are you seeing the moon? Are you seeing just missing sun? At any point in any of these, do you see the moon, or do you just see sky and missing sun? There's just missing sun here. Missing sun. Missing sun. You don't see the moon. You see something you assume is the moon, and it very well might have something to do with the moon. I personally, and I don't know, a lot of flat earthers say the moon has nothing to do. It's a whole nother nodal thing, dark bodies. Very well might be true. But I think whatever it is that's blocking the sun is not in front of it. It's behind it. Okay? Do you see the moon, or do you see missing sun? Right? Mind-blowing, because we were always taught, right? Think of this. If the moon was eclipsing the sun, how come they don't have a camera on the moon filming eclipses? Think about the learning for every kid in school. A camera filming the Earth spinning in space, filming the eclipse from the moon. Never. From the space station. Never. Okay? Never, 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 never. Right? So let me show you how I think that the eclipse happens. Right? Here it is. So this is on the app under the eclipse section, right? So this is an actual eclipse. I filmed it. There happened to be a lot of haziness in the sky, so it was really easy to film without any glare. And this is an eclipse that's going on. It went to like 85%, right? This is a model eclipse where I have a light on the other side and I'm projecting it and I'm blocking the light with a round object. And I'll show you how that's done in a second, right? So this is an eclipse that was filmed prior to that. And we saw this. What is this? It's locked to position with the sun. This is a lens flare. It's moving around as we move the camera. But this is staying in perfect sync with the sun. Now, this was happening. There was like a 90% eclipse at this time. The reason you don't see it here is just because it's so bright. But if you looked with sunglasses, you would see that this eclipse is just about that much. But what is this eclipse here? And if it was a lens flare, it would be moving around, but it's not. So I say that the sun that we see is not the actual source of the sun. It's a projection. It's like we're seeing a rear projection on our sky screen, just like my experiment here. The paper towel is the sky screen, and I have the rear projector, which is here. This is the source of the sun, and I'm eclipsing it with a dark body. Now, I don't see that dark body coming in here. I only see the missing sun. I don't see that dark body because there's no light coming off of that dark body. It's just blocking the light. I don't see it. I don't see it exit. And so I did it again with a thinner tissue. And as I bring it in, we see it right here. There's the source. I'm seeing through the sheet. I'm not being blinded by the bright sun. And I'm blocking the source. And that's exactly what we see. And when we compare it to what reality actually showed us, looks pretty damn close. Right? You're muted.
It just opens your eyes to everything. It makes everything make sense, and it makes you question everything.
Yeah.
Like, it really makes me question why did they assassinate Kennedy? It was because he was trying to make the world a better place. He was trying to what? Or is Kennedy about to expose and let the world in on their hidden agenda?
I got one. I haven't looked into this yet that much, but remember when Nixon called the guys from the moon? Remember?
Yeah, 28 minutes.
Yeah. He called the guys on the moon. Remember? He's talking to the guys on the moon. Okay. This is the actual footage. They're showing the thing, they're showing the moon, right? There he is. The television does that whoop, I lost the signal thing, right? And so he's talking to them on the moon, right? But when we go back to the scene in the White House and we zoom in on his wall, he's got a picture of the Earth from the moon already. How did he get that in 1970? How did he get that picture? Whoa. Now, the Globers will say they sent a probe around the moon and it took a picture, and I don't know what they're going to say, actually. I really don't care because this is ridiculous. And by the way, we've taken these pictures off of NASA's website, put them into Photoshop, cranked up the levels, and there's a friggin' square box around the Earth that it was clearly just it was photoshopped in. Right?
And wasn't there a video you guys showed of was it Reagan on Air Force One, where on the back of the Air Force One or in one of the rooms there, he's standing next to a map, which is a flat Earth map?
I think that was Admiral Byrd, wasn't it? Where do I have that?
It was definitely Reagan. I'm almost positive it was Reagan.
Maybe.
Um,
But there's a couple. There's one with Kennedy on Air Force One, I think.
oh,
Uh,
I haven't seen that one yet.
yeah. So where do you want to go from here?
Utah. So let's talk a little bit about what might be out there. These other worlds. I have a video, and I'll probably insert it right here, right now. It's you have this map, and it's what is outside the Arctic Circle. I know I had asked you if they could go under the Arctic Circle.
Yeah. So what's outside? Now, again, this is speculation. And where am I going here? I'm looking for. Here we go.
Did you make all these?
Some of them that was made by an anti-flat earther that was claiming that the flat Earth was just pulled off the globe when it's actually the other way around. They took the flat Earth and wrapped it around a sphere. So here we are, right? Africa, United States, South America, right? Antarctica. What's out here? We don't know. We're not allowed to go. We want the right to go. Is there more land out there or is there no more land out there? I don't know. If you said, Dave, we're going to find out tomorrow, let's make a bet. I'd bet you $1 million there's more land out there. Okay. But again, making no hard claims, right? You know, a lot of biblical people say, well, God said he created the earth. Well, maybe the earth goes out for another 100,000 miles. And the controllers have just said, no, this is Earth. This is all there is, right? This is the heliocentric, nonsensical model, right? So what else could be out there, right? So here is how they do it. So they take this, they cut out, and they wrap it around a sphere. And they say, this is where you live. You're not allowed to explore down here. You're not allowed to explore down there, right? So imagine this. We have you're in school and they say, here's the world. And they actually just cut out this part of the world. You got a little bit of South America, Mexico, a little bit of Canada, United States, right? They get rid of the rest of the map and they wrap it around a sphere. Now, we don't have any communications with anybody in any other country. There's no radio, there's no internet, there's no telephones. We just have no planes, just boats. You can sail anywhere you want out here, but you can't go beyond 60 degrees south, which they say is right here. Okay? GPS says that, and they're guarding it. You can't go explore here because we have to protect the penguins. This doesn't exist. This is all that there is. You don't know about Australia, Africa, England. You don't know anything about it. And if one day somebody from England landed on an airplane and on the White House lawn, you'd be like, oh my God, an extraterrestrial. Damn right they're extraterrestrial. They're from the extra terra, the extra territory. What if the world was set up like this? We live in this pond right here. We live in this pond. And they did the same thing. They wrapped it around a sphere, and they said, you can't go down and explore this area. You're not allowed to go beyond 60 degrees south. Well, we'll show you this little point right there, but that's it. This is a prison for your mind. This stops you from reaching your full potential, knowing that you're at the center of creation, knowing that your thoughts create your reality. Evil in this world knows how this world works, and they know that they can't break our free will. They know that they need our permission. That's why they have to tell us what they're doing. I know it sounds crazy, but they have to tell us what they're doing. And if we don't say no, we're saying yes. We live in this world of, of offers and contracts, and basically you can, they can offer us anything. And we don't just say no, we have to say, yes, I'll do that under these conditions. And the conditions have to meet, your conditions. Hey, I want you to take that funny thing stuck in your arm. And you'll say, I'll gladly do it as soon as you show me that all of those ingredients have been tested and actually show benefit to the person that takes it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And they can't do that. right? So that's how this world works. I believe, and it's not just me, it's not new age thinking, that our thoughts create our reality because it's actually a proven fact. Look at your life. Everything you have in your life is because of the way that you think. You are your worst enemy and your best ally, right? All of the things that you have in your life, you thought them into your life. You thought them and brought them in. Your car, somebody thought about that car and then ended up making the car. And then you thought about the car and ended up getting the car. And whatever it is not just material things, physical things, relationships, everything is the way that you think. Your vibration attracts other like vibrating things. Well, if that was true, how come I don't have $1 million? It's because you're sitting there saying, I don't have $1 million, saying, I want $1 million. But in reality, the energy you're sending out is saying, I'll never deserve $1 million. Right? When you understand that your thoughts create your reality, there's great abundance. Nobody has control over you. You have God given free will, and that you're at the center of creation. You've now become a way stronger person. I have another theory. I believe that the population is less than they say. I also believe that 150, 200 years ago, there could have been 100 billion people on Earth. Certainly big enough. Can certainly support all of that, especially with free energy technology, which I believe they had then. But I believe that when you have that many people on Earth, your thoughts become an interconnected web of manifestation, and the elite can't control that. They need to keep our numbers very small. This is me talking. This is my thought. Maybe I'll be proven wrong one day. I don't think so. But I think by keeping our numbers low, keeping us separated, keeping us in fear, it lowers our ability to have the great power that the Creator gave us. And so that's why they do these depopulation resets all the time.
You know, it's funny that we're talking about that funny thing that they put in your arm. And if you go through and you, I heard and don't you fact check me on this, but that if you got every one of those recommended, that they are recommending that kids get now, it's like 72 of them, that your body would contain, it's like 1,600 nanograms of aluminum and all these metals and different types of metals. And it made me think when I heard you guys start talking about those vibrations, that these might not be what we think they are, that I think that there's something that has to do with messing up how your body vibrates. And
100%. And as long with the spraying in the sky, I believe that the heavens above are right there. And there's a war heavens above with all of the spraying that we see that's going on. And that's to disconnect us from source information. You know, they talk about the Akashic records, you know, how some people can meditate. The Akashic records are the records of all of everything is contained in one library called the Akashic records. I don't think it's a physical place. It's a spiritual, mental place that I have a Tesla coil that is an amazing device that fills your body with this energy. And the guy that built it got the information from the Akashic records by going into a meditative trance. They taught him how to build it, and he built it, and it's amazing. There's a lot of stuff like this in this world, but they don't want you to know about that. Okay. And so I think that when you have that many people, we all connect and we can all have access to the Akashic records.
Have you ever gone to a festival?
Yeah.
Like a big concert. I don't know if you've ever been into like electronic music where people are doing drugs and it's just like every person you walk by is like super, super happy. I say this when you go to Electric Forest and you walk onto those grounds and you step and you're around all those people, I swear to God, on my son's life, you can feel it. You can feel the energy. You can feel the positivity radiating off people. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced in my life.
I love festivals. We used to have a great one here in Connecticut called Gathering of the Vibes, a 3-day camping event. Amazing, amazing, huge festival, and just amazing, amazing people. I'm actually going to a festival at that campground in 2 weeks or 1 week. It's like a week from this weekend. And it's a huge festival. It's not a camping one, but it's just an amazing time. You know, and it's just about people being around good people and having great conversations. And of course, I'll be wearing a Flat Earth t-shirt. And so we'll see what happens there.
I just ordered my first one. It should be here. I don't know. Actually, another guy I was messaging, because Anna, my co-host on our morning show, and another LFA host, she's the one who was in communications with you originally. And I was talking to somebody else on Twitter, and right after she said we have this interview, uh, this guy messaged me, Eric, I want to say Dubry. Am I saying that right?
Dubai.
Dubay, yeah. Eric messaged me and he's like, you should check out our flat earth gear. I was like, all right. And I bought one. I thought it was yours. I was like, oh man, I hope it's there for in time for our interview. And he didn't.
It was the
What are you talking?
there. He puts out tons of great information. And if it wasn't for him, I don't know if the flat earth movement would be where it is right now. So
Wow.
on the app, on the shopping cart page, here's my shop. And I've got some pretty cool designs. If some that are in your face.
What does that top one say?
This one just says 100% chance it's flat, flatearthdave.com. That's on the back, FE on the front. This is a compass, a real compass, south, 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 north in the center, east and west are circles. That's how a compass works. People don't realize that. These are I'm a blue dot. Everything in the world proves flat. But I just put a new one in, which is where is it? I got a lot on here now. Flat Earther. I like this one.
Ooh, I like that.
It's got the map inside of it. It comes in black, and I have them also without the flat Earth. If you're like, I can't wear that, it's too much. I've got them both styles, right? And hoodies, all sorts of stuff, and these are fun. Listen, you do support me by buying these, but it's also you're supporting yourself. You're getting out there. You're having a conversation. I love this one. This is one of my favorites. It's got the map on the back, right, and it's got just a big FE on the front. And it starts the conversation, 100% chance it's flat. And they go on and on. I got a bunch. So
man, I got the one that's like a North Face symbol, and it says the flat Earth instead of the North Face.
Favorites. And the girl that makes those, she's going to be at Flattoberfest in Vegas. You should make it if you can. It's
I actually think I can make it, honestly.
Perfect. So on the app, if you go, hold on, I just want to show you. This is one I make. Flat Earth Life. That's kind of cool.
Yep.
All right. So on the app, if you go to the shopping cart page or on flatearthdave.com, right here, Flattoberfest. You can click that, and up comes. There it is.
And how much are tickets in case anybody's asking?
Ticket, you know what? I don't even know where they are. They're around $200 or something like that. It's a 2-day event. I don't know what it is. Don't quote me. I don't know.
Yep.
There's.
Will you be speaking there?
I will be on a question and answer panel, but I'll be speaking. I'll just be with everybody because they're just talking to everybody. So just come up and talk to me. But I'll be on a question and answer panel, and there's going to be some great conversations. And we're also going to be going out on the street. We have banners says win $3,000 in chips, and we got big chips on them by giving us one globe proof. And it says, no, what does it say? It says play as many times as you like. No cost to play as many times as you like. And basically, we're just going to be out there. Everyone will have their apps or whatever paraphernalia they have. There we go. I saw my mouse on there. But check it out. Oh, that's an old ticket price. We can look right now. Let's see what the price is. So
let's check it out.
Flattoberfest. Get tickets. And tickets are buy tickets. Oops. Where is it? $254. But there's
I ain't bad at all.
I think you can get there's a 10% discount if you use the code Thanks Bob, all one word. Thanks Bob.
You spell that?
Thanks, THANKS, Bob, BOB.
Thanks, Bob. Got you.
And definitely come, and it's at Sam's Town. I'm not sure how much room is left in the hotel, but if there is, I recommend staying right there because you're just going to want to be around everybody. And
what hotel was that?
It's Sam's Town, and Sam's Town, right off the strip. But all the information is there on the app, or if you don't have the app, flatearthdave.com. Big banner says Flattoberfest, and it's going to be a blast. September, I think it's 20th and 21st. It said. that weekend, Saturday and Sunday. We get there on, I think, on Thursday, and then we leave on Monday.
So let's pivot now. I want to pivot a little bit into JFK, because what makes me want to go down that rabbit hole, or to at least hear what you have to say, is we've talked about our government releasing these declassified documents, and one of the things that Trump was campaigning on in 2016 was that he was going to release or declassify all of the information related to the assassination of JFK. And one of his good close buddies was in an interview. This is probably, I don't know, like 6 months ago. I'm sure I could find it if I wanted to track it down. I'm watching this interview, and this guy goes, it's really weird. He's really close with Trump, like in his inner circle, still in the inner circle. And when Trump was getting ready to leave office, he said, "Hey man," he said, you promised us that you were going to declassify all of the JFK files. Why didn't you? And Trump goes, "Because the American people couldn't handle the truth." And I started thinking to myself, well, like Tucker's telling us the CIA assassinated the president. We already know. What other truth could be so bad that we couldn't handle, that we couldn't wrap our heads around?
Maybe that the earth is flat. Maybe that's what he was trying. Maybe.
I think so. What else could it be? What could you think of something that would be that China did it? Our CIA did it? We already think the worst, don't we?
Yeah. No,
that type of reality.
I mean, it's a lot for people to deal with, knowing that, the Cold War wasn't a real war, right? It was all a put up, right? All of these conflicts we're having, and all of the stuff comes out, like the Korean War, it was kicked off by the Gulf of Tonkin, which is now admitted, declassified as a false flag attack. So the entire Korean War was put on as a ruse under false circumstances. Where's the revolution? Everyone that had a friend that went to Vietnam should be revolting. Nothing. The CIA admitted it came out that the CIA killed John Kennedy, right? Didn't that come out like last year?
Yep.
Nobody
Tucker did it. It was in November. Yeah.
Nobody cares, right? They've dulled us down, making people just complacent and non-caring and non-thinking. I mean, I go into New York City. When I was doing my Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole podcast on 9/11, we're out there with clipboards taking a survey how many buildings fell in 9/11, and nobody heard of Building 7. A couple people did, but they didn't really know that it fell or what really happened. And they're right in New York City, in the heart of New York City, right? There's
so crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and most truthers don't even know that 7 buildings fell on 9/11. No, most truthers don't know about Building 6. Most truthers don't. You don't know about Building 6, right?
No, sir.
Building 7 fell, and it fell after they announced it fell, which is impossible. Okay, you know all that.
That's
right?
So crazy. Yeah, I heard that part.
6, 10 stories tall, full city block. Almost the entire inside of the building disappeared down to the basement.
How?
I don't know. It did. Therefore, there is a weapon that can make the entire inside of a building disappear down to the basement. If you look at the evidence, the buildings fell at free fall speed, and the big chunks that were already ejected from the building dissolved into dust when they were falling and never hit the ground. Therefore, there is a weapon that can turn buildings to dust in midair. I don't know what that weapon is. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know who uses it, but there's some sort of energy weapon that can do that, because that's what happened.
I don't doubt it one bit. After watching what we just watched happen in Hawaii.
Yeah. Have you seen the cars in Hawaii versus the cars on 9/11? They look exactly the same. You couldn't tell the difference. On 9/11, there's cars all over the place where their engines were gone and their doors rusted and the insides dissolved. But on one part, the car was perfect, right?
Yeah, there was papers in the back seat of a car that was fried or something crazy.
Yeah, there is a picture. I don't know if you follow Lincoln Kareem in New York City. He just showed a video of a truck in New York City that literally looked like a melted car in Hawaii, and there was cardboard in the back of it. It was completely burned out, but there was cardboard in the truck in New York City yesterday, literally yesterday. Right? I don't know what's going on, but something's going on. Right?
Do you think that
But by the
go
way,
ahead.
to anyone listening, if you want more information on 9/11, you want it on any of the other things that are very controversial with involving schools or marathons or anything else, stoplookthink.com. Stoplookthink.com. If you want to hear about the Covius Minimus, thing that's going around, stoplookthink.com. The fires, stoplookthink.com. Check it out. It's a good resource. Stuff that's being hidden from you.
Do you ever get the feeling that civilization was way more advanced back in the day and that something was done to, like, I always ask people the question, I said, if, like, say you're in the world that we're living in today with I don't even want to say those 5 letters here, but you guys know what I'm saying, with the dyed pink hair and all of the craziness that's going on and how it feels like AI and technology is outpacing humans. I think about if I could get in a spaceship, like, so let's say you were traveling from another planet, right, quote unquote planet, and you were able to escape this planet because your planet was collapsing, and you found Earth, knowing how detrimental all of that technology was to the civilization you came from. Would you give everybody here that technology to bring it right back to this Earth, or would you kind of just say, hey, we're going to let these people figure out how to start a fire again and everything from scratch? I feel like that.
In the middle of the movie Idiocracy right now. We're literally have you seen the Idiocracy?
Uh-uh.
You haven't seen Idiocracy? All right. Do you smoke weed?
Mm-mm. Yeah. Or I
So
shouldn't say that on here, but yeah.
whatever. Have a beer, relax, and watch the movie Idiocracy. All one word, Idiocracy. It's basically about how the world just got dumber and dumber and dumber. And it's literally to the point where we're in the middle of that movie right now. It used to be a comedy, but now it's a documentary. That's what I say. Um, it's just funny. So yes, there was way more advanced people 150 years ago. Okay, way more advanced. You ever see my interview with Ruth, 102-year-old woman back in February 2020, and I was
With
interviewing
a
her
cell
about
phone.
the world's fairs. What's that?
Is that the one where the girl walks by with the cell phone?
No, 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 no. I'm interviewing.
Okay.
I'm interviewing a 102-year-old woman, and I don't know where do I have that. And basically, she was telling me about the world's fairs and that she had gone to. And then I asked her what they taught her in school, and she said about the Earth. And she said she was taught the Earth was flat in the mid 1920s here in public school in Connecticut. Right, that she was taught the Earth was flat, and then we found people later, other countries in the 30s and 40s that said they were taught the Earth was flat, and then even here in America in the 1950s and early 60s, they were teaching both flat Earth and globe Earth. And then all of a sudden, the Rockefellers took over the school systems, and flat Earth disappeared. The Gleason's map that was in every encyclopedia and every library disappeared, and they literally just made it go away.
That's crazy that you say that, because that's what made me think about that, knowing that the Rothschilds funded Byrd's expedition
Right.
to Antarctica. That's what made me think that the Rothschilds named that island after them. Like, these people that are basically running the world today have been in control of things for way longer than most people think.
United Nations uses the flat Earth map, right? The World Meteorological Organization, these are the organizations that run the world, right? The International Civil Aviation Organization, flat Earth map, right? And then we have our flat Earth map. Like, okay, we got our maps. This is good. This is good. This is good. And oh no, this is no good. No good, right? It's the same map. Why are they all using it, but we can't? Right? You ever see the in Africa, the United Nations building?
No way, dude.
Yeah. Seeing a lot of sixes there too.
So what is their logic? Do you think that you can go under Antarctica? Is that the edge of the firmament where it freezes because it's technically hitting whatever
You
the
know,
firmament is, I guess, or
again, I don't know what's going on underground because, I mean, there's a lot going on underground here. That's provable. Um, but if you wanted to have a way to connect, right? If let's go back here. If
because they don't have any radars for the water, right? They're only above Earth, right? So like you couldn't fly because your plane's going to be on radar unless you made it into quote unquote out of.
Well, there's buoys, beyond 6 degrees south that'll detect any boats going towards Antarctica, and they'll be intercepted. But imagine if the world was like this, and we have all of these ponds. These
Mhm.
ponds, each pond is a world. This is our world. We're just at the center of this pond, okay? And these are all occupying a piece of the plane. Might call that a planet, if you will. Okay. What would be the best way to travel between them? Flying in the air? Well, that's difficult because weather and maybe there's a dome. Who knows? Water becomes frozen, but underneath in tunnels, to me, there could be a whole network of tunnels connecting all of these lands.
That's so crazy because Elon's talking about like vacuum sealing these tunnels that he's building under California that'll allow humans to travel at like thousands of miles per hour.
Well, they already have those. We find these pneumatic tunnels that they can send pods through with people in them, that were here hundreds of years ago, all across the world. Right? They're here. There was a great civilization here. Again, in the homeschool section, check out "I'm the Improbable Dreamer." Check out John Levy. Check out the my lunch break. Trust me, check it out, and then use your own mind. Use your own mind. I keep up something. I'm like 5 times I'm going to tell you, then I get sidetracked and I forget it each time. It'll
Mhm.
come back. It'll come back.
Wait for it. Wait for it. I was talking about.
Yeah, what
Hmm.
beforehand?
I was talking about going under, and you're like, oh, I can't go under, and that's
No, no, but
speculation.
I keep on to just shut Elon down real quick. Um, so Elon Musk and his SpaceX. Have you seen this? Oops, what the heck happened?
And down.
Where is it? Transition. Not coming. Interesting. I lost my. That's interesting. Oh, here it is. Is that right? It's gone. Um, why isn't that showing? This is Elon rocket. I'm just trying to. I have Where is the? There's a rocket launch that just shows how fake his rockets are. You know that he doesn't launch anything into space. You aware?
I'm coming to that conclusion. Yeah.
Yeah. And you've seen, Twitter is now X, right?
Hmm.
And you see what happens when you mirror it. So that's the Freemason symbol.
What?
Just a coincidence, right? It could be. It's just a coincidence.
100% coincidence.
Of course, of course. Um, and that they come back with this picture of Earth, and that you have sex in the clouds. Have you seen that? To,
What?
to say this is like the first picture they gave us of Earth recently, a couple of years ago, and this is from Elon, and it says "sex in the clouds," right? Because they love this imagery, right? Here's Elon's rocket going off. Okay, that could be me. I'm just perverted, right? That's kind of weird, right? But then you look at Elon versus Virgin Galactic. You got Elon with not Elon. This is Jeff Bezos.
Blue Origin.
Blue,
Yep.
Blue Origin. Could it look anything more like a rocket? Right. And then you have Virgin Galactic. Okay. that's just me. That's just a coincidence, right? Then when you watch Jeff Bezos, every time one of his penis rockets go off, the guy that is filming it has a shaking problem. Okay. This motion look a little obscene. All right. Okay. Why is this happening all the time? Right? They got a jerking penis rocket. Okay. The first Apollo mission, here's the flight plan. Okay. Right. Then on the space shuttle, this is their new mission patch. To me, this looks like a baby in a womb. Okay, that's just weird. Okay. But they're talking about how they miss drinking out of a cup in space, drinking coffee. And so they created this special cup that you can drink coffee out of. Okay. And if you watch the video of her doing this, it's so creepy. But if you look at this cup, what does that look like?
Oh, a vagina?
Yeah. I mean, look at it. It's bizarre. And then,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah. Pretty weird, right?
Do you think they all the people in these positions of power is like they get off on this? Like they're just like, all right, let's
Totally. Totally.
this is the most bizarre realization. Do you think we get to a point that we know the truth? And
I think we're there.
do you think that do you think this has so much to do with why Trump has to be removed from power? Why they are so hell bent
Maybe
of
some people say that the whole system is rigged and everyone's in on it and Trump's in on it. And I can't rule that out. But Trump says some things that are so good. Maybe they're just to give us hope. Like I watched something he did a speech a couple days ago or a day ago. He said everything that we'd want to hear him saying. But is it all just nonsense? Could be.
Mhm.
Could be. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But let's go back to good.
I think that was one of the only reasons that he's still alive. I think he has their dirt. He has their secrets. They know he has them. That's why they raided his house, his agent's house, his lawyer's house, his doctor's house. They took all of his communications. They are on a mission to find out where he has this information hidden at, who has it, so that they can take him out.
Now,
That's my personal opinion.
says he's playing 5D chess.
Mm-hmm.
If he's playing 6D chess now, maybe that's a point.
What you got there?
I don't know. I'm just kind of just stepping it up a little bit. It's fascinating. I'm happy to be alive. It's very interesting. So you have the Tropic of Cancer here. You have the Tropic of Capricorn here, right? You have the North Pole, the Arctic, and the South, which is the Antarctic on the flat Earth. You with me?
Yep.
So anything in between these two tropics, that's where the sun never gets far from, it crosses over them twice a year. So those are the tropical areas. That's where all the tropical places are. They're in between the tropics. But it's warm. The sun passes over them twice a year. It never passes over us. It comes near us, then it goes away, then it comes back. Once a year, it comes towards us, and then it goes away. Mexico crosses over them twice. Okay, that's why it's always warm in Mexico. Anything inside of this circle here, we can call this the Arctic zone. Anything outside of the Tropic of Capricorn, we'll call it the Antarctic zone. So we have the Antarctic, the tropics, and the Arctic. So they love their wordplay. What is the sun doing? If I'm standing anywhere in here, I'm in Connecticut. What is the sun doing? Is it arcing around me?
No, it's circling.
It's circling, but it's arcing around me. The arc tick. It's ticking. It's the time, and it's arcing around me.
Shit.
Now, if I'm out here, is it arcing around me? No. It's coming towards me, going away. It's antarcing. The Antarctic.
Makes sense. The Arctic Circle.
The Arctic in the Antarctic because it's antarcing, not arcing. It's not going around me.
Yeah, I'm saying, but they call it the Antarctic Circle
Yeah, the Antarctic
or the Arctic Circle.
the
That's what I just.
right. So I have a question. We were supposed to do the show today with Anna, and she got tied up doing something.
She got a new really good job offer for Stu Peters. So she just got her new show had to start tonight at 9 on Stu Peters network, which she wasn't sure if she was even going to get the job.
So Stu
yeah,
is constantly tweeting and all sorts of stuff about questioning the globe. Did you see my interview with Stu Peters?
No.
You go.
I have to go watch it.
Yeah, you can search my Flat Earth Dave interviews. But if you want to find all my videos, if you click the web button and then click here, interviews, it'll be in that list. It's a ways down that list. But you'll see a picture of me and Stu. But Stu gets it. And he just tweeted today one of my videos, a video of me talking about space and how ridiculous it was. Of course, he didn't mention my name or my website, which would have been nice too. Okay. He's out there poking everybody with flat earth stuff. But here's endless interviews. I was on the Blaze. These guys are great on the morning show on the Blaze.
Yeah.
Patrick, what's his name? Patrick Gray. And those guys were getting it. They were blown away. So my Stu Peters is in here somewhere, but there's Man in America. He's on your network.
Yep.
And it's in here somewhere, but you can search my Flat Earth Dave's Interviews 2 channel to find the Stu Peters one. But Stu, we had a great conversation. I think I was on with him twice now. So
those are all your interviews. Wow.
So they go on and on and on and on and on and on. I've done over 1,000.
Oh my Lord.
Over 1,000 interviews. So, if Flat Earth was a PSYOP, it would have been over a long time ago, right? Some scientists would have come out. It all started with after Eric Dubay. Mark Sargent put out a bunch of clues going, wait a minute, this Flat Earth thing can't be. So he put out a bunch of 10-minute videos going, what about this? What about that? How come this? How come that? And he expected some PhD, some scientist, someone to come back and go, well, here's why. Silence. Nothing. Okay? You have to watch out, though, because there's evil forces in this world. The way they get away with their nonsense is there is evil. There are evil spirits, if you will. There are possessions, if you will. And people give away their soul, their control over their body, if you will, to evil for whatever reason. And you have a lot of these possessed people. I say they're either paid or possessed. Everyone's like, there's a paid shill. He's a paid shill. He's a paid shill. I think there's very few paid shills. I think there's possessed shills. Okay. They're out there pushing. They don't even know why they're defending it. Right. There's people that are so lost in the sauce. They think that we're scammers. We're out here and we're a danger to the world. And they want to scare you into not looking into this. You Google Flat Earth, you get all nonsense. You end up at the Flat Earth Society, which is a government-run disinformation site to make Flat Earth look stupid. Why is it that you can Google fairies and Bigfoot and aliens and Loch Ness Monster and anything you want, it'll show up. But if you search Flat Earth, nonsense. Check this out. You can go into your YouTube history and say, I was checking out bicep workouts, It'll show you all the videos that you pulled up on bicep workouts in all of your history. It'll show you all of them. And you can search for, giraffe videos because, oh yeah, I watched this giraffe video 6 months ago. There it is. That's the one I was looking for. You can search your history. It's fantastic. So I recommend people go to my YouTube channel, DITRH, watch 10 videos that have the word flat earth in it. They all do. Then go to your history and you'll see that they're there. But then search your history for flat earth. Well, those videos should show up. None of them will show up. Only troll videos will show up. The pushed propaganda videos will show up. All of the real
That's
won't show up. Why is that happening? Only the flat earth. There's no other topic. You can search up COVIDs, or whatever you want to call that thing that goes in your arm. And all the videos you watch, search it. They'll all come up in your history, whether you watched it 2 weeks ago or 2 months ago or 2 days ago or 2 minutes ago. Right? Watch my videos for a couple of weeks, couple of days, couple of hours. Go and search your history for flat earth. None of them will show up. Not just mine, any of the videos on the app, all of the real videos. So when someone's hiding something from you like that and lying to you, that should be a red flag and get you to, get you to look. Unless, of course,
Jeez, opiates.
What's that?
They don't. YouTube never give like fact checks anything. Like I could say unicorns are real, and I could make a video about how unicorns are walking this earth, and there's leprechauns at the end of a rainbow, and map it out and tell you that at this exact location there's a leprechaun with a pot of gold. Nobody's gonna community note me. Nobody's gonna go out of their way to fact check me or put out any relevant that I'm spreading misinformation. If flat earth is just this conspiracy theory, why would YouTube go out of their way? Because they've only done that a handful of times on very specific topics, which years later always turn out to be true facts. So just
flat earther and then becomes a globe earther after. It's only people that cling to their ball. Don't take my ball away, right? You asked earlier why, or maybe I asked, there's you build a life around your beliefs, especially women and men too. You build a world that you feel safe in. Like you're safe walking out through your neighborhood at night because you just have this world understanding, right? But someone says, "Oh, by the way, there's mountain lions in your neighborhood all the time, and they eat people." You're gonna question that, and it's gonna change your view of the world. You're not gonna want to believe it, But if your whole world is based on heliocentrism, the spinning globe, and that's where you think you live, and someone tells you that the foundation, that from your kindergarten teachers and everything you've ever seen in your entire life is a lie, that's a hard one. That's a really emotional one. Wow, your ego. You have to realize that your life is a lie. They said, what's the quote? It's easy to lie to somebody, but it's harder to convince them they've been lied to. You've been lied to. And people say, well, why does it matter? Why does it matter? You know what? I can tell you why it matters. And I have been telling you why it matters. But in the frequently asked questions, one of my favorite, why the lie, right here. Hit that. Mm-hmm. Great videos there. That's worth the price of the app anyway. That's worth the app's only $3. So everything's worth the price of the app.
Yeah.
Right. So watch the why the lie videos. Watch them. Right. And by the way, the app only works on smartphones, tablets, iPads, and that's it. It will also, you can emulate it on the newer Macs with the M1 and up chip, but there's some glitches there, and I can't really help you with that. But it's just for mobile devices at this time.
Have you ever met anybody that you has basically came to you and actually had an open mind and sat down with you for a couple hours that you weren't able to convince that the Earth is not a globe?
Yeah, one of my best neighborhood friends. But he refuses to watch any videos or listen to anything. He's chosen not to believe it because it's too emotional for him. There are people that are just unable. And here's the thing: there are people that will never wake up because they don't want to wake up, and it's not your job to wake them up. It's your job to say, "Hey, have you ever wondered about this?" And then if they bite, you have a conversation, you go back and forth, but you can't shove it down someone's throat because they'll fight you tooth and nail, right? You want to just pose it as a question and have a conversation, but some people will not wake up. Like my brother and sister will never wake up, ever. Okay? And and I have to accept that. I've had some lifelong friends, friends that I've literally raised their children for them. A single mom or kid, like I was literally their father. And she won't even talk to me because I think the earth is flat. And I think that 9/11 was an inside job and other things, right? But that's her journey. It's not my problem. The thing is, when you become a flat earther in 2014, when you become a flat earther, it's like, wow, I'm really alone. Now, I think we're going to be the majority. In reality, I don't really want to hang out with people that are unwilling to learn to expand their minds and really appreciate this realm that we're in.
It's funny that you say that because I'm around people in this industry. I mean, LFA TV is probably the most raw, unfiltered, straight news network that you're going to get. It's very, very, very new, so it's not nearly as big as, Newsmax or RAV or even Fox News or CNN or any of these bigger networks. But we're not filtered, and we're truth seekers. We're 9/11 truthers. The most, just I guess, they've seen every conspiracy theory, or at the very least, understand that all these conspiracy theories that turned out to be true, all of the CIA operations that our government was involved in, and they'll believe anything, right? They'll believe that 9/11 was an inside job all day. But I bring up flat Earth, and they are like, it looks at me like I'm the taboo one.
Yeah.
I'm
So
like, so you trust our government? No. Okay. So why does the Earth have to be round? Well, it has to be. Or they go, it doesn't matter, and that's the one I really can't wrap my head around. Even if it is true, it just doesn't matter. There's kids dying over here, and there's this going on, and there's that going on. That doesn't matter. Well, so 9/11 matters, or Hawaii matters, or does it all not matter? I don't know.
The thing, the spinning ball is how they got away. The lie of the spinning ball is how they got away with all of this stuff, all of these child, abductions and trafficking and Maui. It's because people are spinning out of control, lost in space, and they don't know who they are. They don't know the true power that they have. They don't know that they can say no. They don't know that they don't have to be part of this. Okay, so the foundation of their world is spinning out of control in an infinite space vacuum. How are you going to actually, make a difference in this world? Yeah, sure, you can make a difference here and there, but if you know who you are and your true power, you're much more powerful. If you don't know who you are, you're operating blindly, and you are blind if you think you're spinning in space. So why the lie? And as you were saying, your guys are your listeners are open to anything, but when you mention flat Earth, they're like, get out of here, right? And I get it because that's how I was. They're doing deep inside the rabbit hole. Every conspiracy, flat Earth, I said, get out of here. I banned people forever, but what I'd like to tell people, and maybe you want to put this right at the beginning, is don't tune out. Listen to this, because I'm offering 3 Bitcoins, right? That's like almost 100 grand, all right, for 1 globe proof. If you live on a physical ball spinning in space, all you have to give me is 1 scientific proof that we live on a spinning globe, and I will send you 3 Bitcoins, okay? That's it. So listen, I might be you think I'm crazy? But that if I'm crazy, it's going to be really easy for you to win these 3 Bitcoins. 3 Bitcoins, 1 globe proof. Okay, here are the rules. The rules are: be concise, send me your proof, and allow me to answer. Now, I'm not going to go, oh, that's fake. I'm going to show you why it's fake. I'm going to show you why it's wrong. When you say Eratosthenes, I'm going to show you. But before you send it to me, you have to hit the frequently asked questions button and make sure your question isn't answered in there already, which it probably is. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Then if you do this, I have to warn you that you're going to end up as a flat earther.
Ooh, that is a great way to open this. That is the best way to open it. 100 grand, 3 Bitcoin. I don't know, you probably don't know, but I'm a Bitcoin maxi. I keep 90% of my wealth in crypto. So I'm a huge believer in blockchain technology, or just a Bitcoin. Can't put it in fiat.
In maxi, does that mean 90% in Bitcoin or just blockchain?
I'm a blockchain maxi. I think that there's only actually 2. I would say out of the 21,000 blockchains that are out there now, I only believe in 2. Bitcoin was the right start. Ethereum took it to the next level. Going to proof of stake was obviously the biggest scam. Proof of stake blockchains are all completely scams. If you're talking about being decentralized and secure and the whole 9 yards, there's only one blockchain that's really solved it. It'll revolutionize the world and everything about blockchain. It's called Cadena. I don't know if you follow blockchain technology, but back when I understand you don't know enough about blocks and how blockchains work, right? Like, it's just data inside of a block. Blocks are connected together with a hash, right? Yep. And all blockchains are doing is storing data. How much data can I fit into one block, and how often can I produce a block, right? Yep. Well, with proof of work blockchains, no matter what technology you do, because it's proof of work, right? They have to prove the work. They have to solve these complex algorithms to produce a block. You're inherently limited, and the average is about 5 to 10 TPS, which is transactions per second. Now, back in 2014, somebody wrote a article called Bitcoin Rope, and the idea was they knew that inherently, if adoption hit a certain point, the Bitcoin blockchain would be maxed out. So it was either change the block size, which is how we got Bitcoin Cash and these other spinoffs of Bitcoin, where they actually wanted to change it. But the Bitcoin Rope was, well, what if we braided two chains together? And in order to braid two chains together, you have to store the hash of each block in the other block, right? And that's what will braid your chains together. And that's great. Cool. We have two Bitcoin blockchains still consuming the same power as one, but you're actually you're basically mining two blocks every time a block is produced. But if Bitcoin's only capable of doing 350,000 transactions per day, and we talk about blockchains like Solana that were doing quote unquote 60,000 TPS, which is transactions per second, drastic difference. And even Solana only peaked out at about 3,000 to 4,000 transactions per second, and it was maxed out. It couldn't even, it would break every other time. But if you connected three blockchains together, right? Let's just say, just out of context, each block can hold 100 transactions, and one hash takes up one transaction. So if you connected three blockchains together, you're going to have three hashes in every block, 5, 10. Well, let's say you get up to 50 blockchains connected together, which still wouldn't even be enough for a fraction of global adoption. Half of your block would be filled with just hashes.
Yeah.
So the number one cited author in the Bitcoin white paper is Stuart Habert and Scott Strnada. They created the first blockchain in 1991. In my personal opinion, if there's anybody that's most likely Satoshi or in that circle of Satoshis that created Bitcoin, Stuart Habert's one of them, or he just randomly, him and Scott are the most cited author in the Bitcoin white paper. I mean, Bitcoin wouldn't have been created if it wasn't for the work that Scott Strnada and Stuart Habert did. So Stuart Habert's had that same blockchain running since 1991. He publishes the hash every Sunday in the New York Times. He has companies that have been using it since then to store information. And he's been basically trying to figure out a way to make data immutable. And it's basically been his life work. They're called decentralized digital identities, something or other. He ended up meeting the team called Cadena. It's Kadena. Will Martino he went to Yale private school. He was recruited by the US government, sent to private hacker school, and then was put into a position to help the SEC create their blockchain center for excellence. And in the process, he built this supercomputer that basically analyzes every trade on the stock market, on the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, the S&P 500. And that information is fed to the SEC. So they don't have to really look for insider trading. They have basically a bot that analyzes every trade and then feeds the SEC information when things aren't adding up. He also was working with Stuart Habert. Stuart Habert builds all the algorithmic trading softwares for the most legacy financial institutions around the world. He was handpicked by Jamie Dimon to build Jamie Dimon's first blockchain called Juno. When Jamie Dimon brought Stuart together, Stuart picked his team. He picked Will, and he picked another girl. Her name is Emily. She's some basically super smart genius who's advanced coding in Haskell. And together they were going to build Jamie Dimon's blockchain. So in the process of building that, Jamie Dimon brought them in and said, what do you guys need? Well, they were building a blockchain, so we should start probably interview all the people that have built blockchains before. Jamie Dimon's done. And within a week, he had Vitalik, the CEOs of Polkadot, Solana, all of these people flying out for one-on-one interviews. And Will, Emily, and Stu basically sat there for weeks and interviewed all of these people. And they basically collected all the information that they had brought to Jamie Dimon. They're like, it's going to be 5 years, and here's all the stuff that we're going to need to really build something out at scale, to build what you want, or a blockchain that could meet the demands of global real world adoption. You're going to have to start with your own coding language, because none of these blockchains have a coding language that can build a blockchain. Jamie Dimon says, I don't want to do that. I want a blockchain that'll work. I want it in a couple of years. Get to it, basically. So they said, all right. So they built this blockchain called Juno for Jamie Dimon. And in the process, they just knew that they weren't building something at scale. They were just building a blockchain just for this rich guy who kind of wanted a pet project, because blockchains were cool back in 2016, 2017. So at one point, Will and Will Martino is the one at the SEC. He came to Stu and he said, hey, Stu, I just got done researching the Bitcoin rope white paper. And he goes, I think I have a way to connect pretty much an infinite amount of blockchains together. And he goes, if I can do this and we can get it to work on paper, could you write a coding language to build this blockchain? And Stu, I think he reads, writes, and speaks, I think it's 18 different programming languages. So like you think about that like languages, most people can speak 2, maybe 3. You get a few that can speak more. And then there's very few that can speak above 10 different languages fluently, read, write. This guy read, writes, and codes in like 18. So for the last 7 years, they've been building the coding language called Pact. It is built with Haskell, which is the most advanced coding language there is out there for computer coding, programming. Haskell is like the end all be all. And they've built a coding language that is Pact, which means it's Turing incomplete. So where Ethereum is a looping coding language, which means it's recursive, which is very energy intensive. You also, none of your code ends or stops, right? Because it loops. So it's very easy for you to miscode things and code in bugs. And that's how everything on Ethereum, literally almost every single application on top of Ethereum has been hacked at one point or another. Why? Because it's wrote in Solidity. Solidity is a shit coding language. And almost every other blockchain out there is built in some fucking garbage ass, sorry, I'm going to cut this out, but trash coding languages. Well, they didn't. They built it. And the technology that they used is called hash braiding. If I were to draw a star, gosh dang, I wish I had this. I have to show you this. I don't have it with me. I have a whiteboard video I'll send you that'll explain this blockchain to you if you want to watch more about it. But if I draw a star on a sheet of paper, if you just think about a star, how is the farthest point away? So if I wanted to go, like, let's say we number a star 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? 5 does not connect to 1. If I want to get to 5, I have to go from 1 to 3 over to 5.
Yeah.
If you, right?
Yep.
So I'm able to connect 5 blockchains together and only store the hash of 3.
I get it.
Right? Now, if you scale that up, you go to 10, I'm still able to get to the farthest chain in 3 hops. So now I have 10 chains connected together. You scale up from 10 to 20, which is where they're at now, still at 3 hops. Now, when I go from 20 to 50, I am 4 hops. So now I have 50 blockchains, the same as Ethereum and Bitcoin, smart contracts, proof of work blockchains, with 20 blockchains running simultaneously side by side right now, consuming less energy than one Bitcoin blockchain. And then the technique that they used is called hash braiding, and they have a patent on it, which is good, I think, for the next 8 years. So we talk about why Amazon is Amazon, because in any other industry that you come out in, when you basically create the Holy Grail, you have about a 2-year runway before some competition goes, oh, I see what they did. We already know how they did it because their business is running. If we dedicate resources, we can pretty much replicate that business, fix all the issues they failed at, and make the same business but better. And it takes about 2 years. So normal businesses get about a 2-year runway when they're the first in any industry. Amazon came out. There has been no other Amazon, right? eBay was there. Amazon destroyed it. And Amazon hasn't had any competition for basically 7 years. And they're so big now that anybody that tries to catch up to them, they're just being basically laughed at. Like, get out of here, little kid. You're not going to mess with Amazon. Well, Cadena and them now have 8 years, basically, from 2020. Right? Which is just crazy to think about. So it's the future of all blockchain technology. But just like every other industry, who owns Cointelegraph? Who owns CoinMarketCap? Who owns every single website that you go to do research off of? Pretty much Digital Currency Group. Digital Currency Group is the BlackRock of crypto. They own the media, they own the network, they own the PR firms, they own the influencers, they own the reporting agencies that collect and analyze all the data and give that data to the government. And then the government uses that data to take away your freedoms based off of fake lies propagated from the companies that are selling them the data, which are running the companies. I go on for it forever. Wow. Blockchain's my thing. That's how I got down this rabbit hole. But
nice.
Sorry, that was a long one.
Pivoting back, you remember, in 1960s and 70s, we went to the moon, played golf, and drove dune buggies around. But now they're sending Artemis to the moon, right? But not with people on it. Okay. So this is the trajectory. It goes around the Earth, and then it goes around the Earth, the moon, and then somehow it ejects some mass, which will send it back to Earth. Okay. What's going on here? This is their Artemis flight path, and it's the flat Earth map. They didn't even bother to rotate it, right? They stuck in the flat Earth map. Now, now that we pointed this out, they changed it to a globe on their website.
What is Artemis?
Artemis is the we just went to the moon. See, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that CIA killed John F. Kennedy, and no one cares that we just sent a ship back to the moon. Like earlier this year, they sent the Artemis, and it's eventually they're going to send people to the moon. We went in 1960s and 70s and played golf and rode dune buggies, but now it's coming soon. We're going to send people to the moon. It's such a jar. It's such a joke. But they changed it. They had their profile with the flat Earth map on it. And now that we pointed it out, they had to change it. Right? And Artemis went to the moon. It was orbiting the moon, right? Artemis got this picture of the moon from, well, how far is it? Wait, I can see that. $1 billion.
2000. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. So
238,000. Yeah.
Yeah. Then this is from me, 238,000 miles away with my P900. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They just spent a friggin' $1 billion to send the ship to the moon, and this is the picture it gets. I got this from my porch.
Get out of here.
You haven't got a P1000 yet, have you?
No, I don't have a P1000. The best zoom lens I have is the 100-400, the G Master, Sony G Master 100-400.
Right, and this is some footage from Artemis. This just nonsense. And you see that computer glitch?
No way.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Here, I'll show you again. Right here. And look at that curve. What's up with this curve? What kind of sphere is this? Right? What is
It's so bad.
It's so bad.
But they know nobody's watching. You pay attention. They teach you up to like what, fifth grade, and then after fifth grade, you pretty much don't really learn much about.
Right, and then we're supposed to believe this is real. So there's a camera somehow staying out here. I mean, could you do this yourself in a dark room with a couple with a camera? I bet you can get this done in an hour. Better. Right? You're looking in amazement.
You just can't believe that.
This
it's right in front of your face the whole time, and you don't ever.
Right. This is what they show. Right? And then they show us this view of the Earth. Nonsense. Right? And then Artemis, right? The ISS travels at 17,500 miles per hour, right? Artemis made it to the moon in 8 days, a distance of 238,000 miles. That's 1,239 miles per hour. Okay? The ISS is supposedly going 17,500 miles an hour. Artemis traveled 1,200 miles an hour to the moon. Apollo made it in 3 days. 3,000, of course, 3,300 miles per hour. Right? What's going on here?
They're telling us, they're actually saying that the ISS is traveling at 17,500 miles per hour.
That's what they tell us.
What happens?
Yeah.
And does it stop? Like when people go up and don't people like ships connect to it? How are they connecting to it when it's moving?
They're going 17,500 miles an hour, so it's like they're not even moving. They're just moving in sync with each other. It's like two cars on the highway going 100 miles an hour right next to each other. You can climb from one to the other. Okay? But there's no air, so you don't even notice it. Right? It's so stupid. Right? Perseverance went to Mars, right? 300 million miles away. 300 million? Yeah, 300 million. It took 7 months. That's works out to a speed of 59,000 miles per hour. Okay? Is that crazy? It's a little crazy.
And what is the stuff I've seen about that nobody's ever actually taken a picture of Mars, that it's like a gas ball? Is there any truth to that?
Well, I mean, the stuff that NASA shows us is all just computer graphics, but when you look at Mars, it where's the here's a P1000 shot of Mars. Now people say it's out of focus. Um, what are we seeing here? It is a little out of focus, but sometimes putting something a little out of focus will show you things that you can't see. But this doesn't look like a solid ball to me, right?
Mhm.
Here's a little Mars thing. You know, the rover's on Mars, so this is a a, a picture
The bug?
zooming in. Yeah, you saw the bug. You saw this, right?
I played that on LFA TV last week. Just as like a little teaser, just that one little second of that.
So there's two
About
responses
life on Mars.
that the sick space fans have is, um, it's not a bug, or and the other one is, yeah, there's life on Mars,
Yeah,
or
there's life on Mars. That's what I said.
this is Devon Island. This is just Devon Island. So this is Google Earth, and we're going to zoom in to Devon Island on Greenland, and we were just looking around there, and we saw some weird stuff. Right? So you zoom in, we found this little camp, and this is way out there. Um, and when you look around, there's some interesting vehicles, and everyone's faces are blurred out, but that just might be a thing. But this vehicle right here has the Mars has a NASA Mars logo mission patch on it. I think that yeah. Um, and then there's the other one. Hold on, let me find the other one. This one over here. Oops, where'd it go? Well, that has the Mars mission patch on it. I can't get it to stop right there. But then another funny thing is, if you look at these pictures, these look like Mars, but when we zoom out, there's a little tag, and when I click it, it says the Arctic Camp. That's it. And then we found another one, roving the Arctic. And then we have pictures of the rover on Mars, on here, them testing the rover on Devon Island. Isn't that crazy? I mean,
I know
when,
what to
when
say. Oh
where
my
you look at
gosh, man.
stuff, this is the rover landing on Mars. Now, Mars has 1% of the atmosphere. You know anything about parachutes? They don't work in 1% atmosphere. Like when, the Red Bull jump, when he jumped from 127,000 feet, his parachute wouldn't open until like 50,000 feet. It wasn't enough air, right? There's only 1% air. And this is supposed to be the sun. What, what is this? I mean, this is all the proof that people need.
They're just not willing to accept it.
Yeah.
They can't handle it. You
Right.
notice, have you ever looked on Google Trends? You got your computer in front of you?
I do, but I can't pull anything up, unfortunately. What do you need?
What? No, just when you get done, look at flat Earth. Search flat Earth on Google Trends and go back to 1980 and look at the graph, and you tell me what you see. You don't have to do it right now. Just whenever you get time, you'll be interested. It'll
In
be funny.
2017, the search term for flat Earth on YouTube beat everything. It beat Donald Trump, which was number one, and when it overtook Donald Trump, same day they took down the scoreboard. No longer do you get the number of results when you search on YouTube. The day that flat Earth became the number one search term on YouTube.
Have you ever read that book about Barron Trump
Oh,
that basically predicts the future?
oh yeah,
That's pretty gnarly, man.
it is pretty crazy.
It made me think of that when you said that about that Mars book and about Elon.
Yeah. They, I don't know. I mean, flat earthers are willing to admit they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What do you got here?
I think this is Mars also, through a P900, super slowed down. Right. Pretty weird stuff. And then if you look at Mars, Devon Island, Mars, Devon Island, right?
No.
Yeah, this is from their website, and then this is a picture of Devon Island. And now they'll say, "Oh, they added the clouds in and colorized it." No, they decolorized it, added a sepia tone. Yeah, they want you to believe crazy shit. Excuse me. This is the helicopter. Now, how do you have a drone in super cold conditions in no atmosphere that can fly, right? We can't even fly a helicopter to pick up people on the top of Everest, where the atmosphere is 20, 30 times strong, thicker, more than Mars. But this drone is taking a picture of its shadow. Well, they say that the blades go really fast. That's how it flies. How's it getting a sharp picture of its legs and the propellers?
Wait, say that one more time.
This drone took a picture of its shadow. This is Mars and a shadow of itself.
How is the drone flying in zero atmosphere? 1% atmosphere.
And how is it getting a picture of its blade, the shadow of its blades? Like if I put my drone up, just hovering, and with close to the ground, and the sun's above it, you can't see the blades. You don't see the blades. Mm-hmm. Look how sharp this is. Okay. I mean, people will believe anything. Okay.
Anything.
Which one's Mars? Which one's Devon Island? Well, obvious, but just look. This is Devon Island. This is Mars. That's what they say. Right? Mars.
So do you watch every, like, now when NASA puts anything out or SpaceX, you got like, do you even get to watch it? If you don't watch it live, how long before people are sending to you in your community or tagging you in things? 2 seconds?
2 seconds. But whenever we watch stuff, there's just so much nonsense. So much nonsense. It's unbearable. It's literally unbearable. Couple more, and then
like
let's have more questions. But we can probably start to wrap it up.
Yeah.
There it is. Rockets. This is, where is my, where is it going? I'm looking for, oh, here we go. So have you ever watched any of the SpaceX rockets, where this thing's falling back to Earth, these little milk crates are steering it, and it's going to land on a raft in the middle of the ocean, 800 miles off of Florida. And somehow it's never big swells out there, and it lands perfectly, right? Here's the video on the raft. What's this square that showed up? What is this? You see it?
Mm-hmm.
While it was landing, this layering square. Watch. What do you think about that?
What in the hell is that?
Yeah, it's a layering issue. This is all CGI. And I don't know if you've ever been out in the ocean. Rarely is it calm, right? This thing is falling out of the sky, going through wind streams of hundreds of miles an hour in the upper atmosphere, and somehow it lands on a raft perfectly with this little flame upright. This thing, a car can drive underneath this thing. This is gigantic. Okay. Right?
I was at SpaceX last week or last month.
It's all a show, man. It's all a show. Right? And it lands on this raft upright, bullseye, doesn't tip over. This thing is, multiple stories tall. A person can walk underneath here. This thing just lands out in the middle of the ocean. It's always calm. Right?
What sea is that in?
What's that?
What ocean is that in?
In the Atlantic Ocean off of Florida, right? And then it gets pulled in, right? This thing's floating out there. How is it staying in the perfect spot for that thing to fall out of the sky and land on it perfectly. Okay. I don't even think it could do it on the ground, but it's always done it. And there's never any humans out there. It's only a drone ship, and it always loses its connection, you know, with the the feed. And they're like, oh, look at this. What is this? You believe that's happening? You ever watch a Harrier jump jet trying to land with multiple thrusters? This thing has just got one little thruster and it just lands. So this is what they show us every time. So this is the second stage going up. This is the first stage falling back. Now look how high it is, right? These are clouds down here. This thing is free falling. It weighs multiple tons. Now watch here. They keep switching from one camera to the other. Look at the Earth. Looks pretty flat there, right? We'll go back in a second. So now this one, it's these little steering things are going to steer it so it finds that drone ship and lands right on it. Okay? This thing's free falling at maximum speed, and this little flame is going to stop it and land it on this target. Are you going to believe that? Right? And then it cuts out, right? So here, now watch. Look at this curve. Oh, look, there's the curve of the Earth. And then they cut to the next camera. Oh, but I'm not going to show it again. It'll come back. So here we go. This is the onboard camera. This is the drone camera. It's coming. It's finding this thing. There's no currents. There's no winds knocking it off target. And this is all we see. And people are like, oh, yeah, he landed it on a ship in the middle of nowhere with no people watching. All by computer. Okay? Here we go again. This is what they show us. Oh, this one blew up. Therefore, it has to be real. Oh, no, that one is one that blew up. Sorry. But this is. This is all the evidence they show us, and people just eat it up. Oh, look, it landed. I'm sorry you didn't get to see it land. The camera cut out. It's a little off center. Okay, but the raft doesn't tilt at all. Right? So here we go. We got a concave Earth. And now we have a curved Earth. Watch again. This thing is going to just land on that raft. Here's the raft. It starts shaking for some reason. And it lands. Isn't that beautiful? Where are the engineers that can come out and say that this is impossible? Just because you don't understand it, Dave, doesn't mean it's impossible. Maybe this one will show it. Look, we have a convex Earth, right? Nobody sees that. They just see the curve. Oh, there's the curve of the Earth. When they're so programmed to only see the curve of the Earth, when they see something contradicting it, flat or convex. Whoa, what happened here? Here we go. Whoops. My camera is buzzing out. Ah, there we go. Let me try to find. I want to show you one where okay, here we go. Convex Earth. Right, because it's a corner, I'm trying to imagine a ball, right? Camera, where the heck is the? Hold on. Another ridiculous landing. All right, curved Earth. We have there's a sphere. And then that was our landing. That was our landing. Crazy, right? Where is it? I have like a whole series where it shows both. Again, stupid. Somebody could literally be holding that and just bringing it down, a little model, right? Because you can't never see the top.
They just CGI it. It's all fake.
It's all nonsense. It's all absolute and total nonsense. But if you just go to any SpaceX, you'll see this curved Earth, and then here, curved Earth, and then flat or convex Earth. It goes back and forth just to confuse your mind.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. Curved, convex, curved, convex. Yeah. They have all sorts of stuff. Now, this thing is supposed to go in 17,000 miles an hour. You got your flat Earth, curved Earth. Watch right in here. Okay. There's a piece of something comes off. Now, there was one time where an actual rat.
That was a mouse.
But since we brought that out, then every launch after that, they had another something in there like, oh, it's just frozen oxygen. It's like frozen, frozen gases. And they literally tried to do it. But then recently, this happened. Okay. Where is it? Speeding forward to a little bit. Okay. Right here. Watch.
Oh, what that was that?
Here we go. Now, look how slow that thing's moving. I thought this thing was going like 17,000 miles an hour or faster. What was that? Right? So, you good? Your mind blown? Are you there? Are you muted?
No, my mind's just running. I'm thinking, I don't know where I'm even thinking. I got so many thoughts going through my head. I can't even keep them organized.
Right.
My buddy Kyle that I told you about, that's the FBI whistleblower. There's 3 of these FBI whistleblowers that came out, and one of them is a flat earther, and he's able to have a conversation with me. So I thought, like, I kind of just feel how people are, you kind of talk about it a little bit. And Kyle's one of my good buddies, and he just is the one that's like, man, I don't have time. Like, I'm dealing with this. We got this going on around the world. He's like, I just don't have the mental capacity to waste 2 hours talking about something that's just obviously not true or doesn't matter. And I'm just like, I'm just curious if like I could get him to come in an interview with you and sit down for a couple hours and see, because he's like an FBI agent. He asks questions. He's a lot more intelligent than me. I'm sure he thinks that he could prove that the Earth is a globe. I'm almost confident that he is, and I'm just curious if I could get that set up. I could convince him to spend a couple hours with us and sit here with you in an interview, and have you just.
We could do that, and I'd like to bring actually a couple other guys with me, and we could really have an amazing conversation.
Wow, he actually might be open to that. If I could do that, that would be a really good video, I think, because he's an investigator. I mean, I want to say it on here because I'm recorded, but I'll tell you a story about just, people that we meet online that claim to be their so-and-so. And this guy, in a matter of like an hour, had everything about these people. I mean, their histories, their parents, their relatives, their houses, their cars, their taxes. I mean, everything. I was like, oh my gosh, it like blew my mind. I'm like, I don't want to get on the wrong side of you, man. Like, he's really good at what he does. And I would be very interested to have that conversation, just to, the people that I look up to and respect, and I give weight to their opinion on things. It's those people that you kind of like, I want to wake up and I would like to have on our side and realize that this is a lie. And I just, when I was able to wrap my head around that the Earth was not a globe, it was like, am I crazy kind of feeling? Like, I didn't want to be like, it's like taboo. And then I just kind of kept going back to, well, I mean, everything else was taboo 6 months ago, and now it's all true. So I feel like that this makes more sense than anything. And I don't know how you can learn about it and then go back. Like, I can't shut my brain off now. I can't not see it. I can't not laugh every time I'm go to my dad's house and he's watching the news and NASA's taking off. It's just like the India moon landing last week was pretty. That was my first one, like being awake and actually watching, and I was just like, oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, they do it. It's a little mind trick they do. They show you something ridiculous, like the graphic of the moon landing. And then a little while later, they show you a video of the rover coming out. That's an actual video. And it's horrible. It's literally a briefcase on a stage somewhere. And your mind says, that was fake. This is real video. Okay. And so you have this false binary in your head. If that was fake, this is real. No, they're both fake. One of them is a fake animation. The other one's just a fake stage prop. Right. And they're doing the same thing with, aliens. For example, the Mexicans just showed you these paper mache friggin' ETs. Okay. And you're like, oh, that's fake. Then they'll do something that looks real, like a Project Bluebeam or something. And you'll be like, oh my God, that was fake. This is real. When in fact, they're both fake. Even if the alien things in Mexico were real, I'm not saying that they are, they look fake. So it doesn't matter. It does the same mind trick. Because if you show somebody something so obviously fake, then you show them something that's, looks pretty good. If you showed them that first, they'd be like, that looks fake. But their comparison is something so stupid, so fake, so 1970s Atari that they look at the other thing and go, oh, that must be real. That must be real.
And you had mentioned that back in like the 1920s, they were teaching us that the earth was flat. Has anybody, I know you had showed me a list on your app there about all the flat earth books. I just actually ordered a bunch of science magazines from the 1930s off eBay, which I was just trying to do a little bit of research and see if they left something in one of these old antique magazines. Have you guys come across any educational content from like the 1920s that they were actually teaching in schools, books that had flat earth?
We're actually looking at stuff like that. We found a 1959 Encyclopedia Americana that talks about the dome. And somebody just sent me an ebook today, a PDF of pictures of an old book that showed the flat earth in it and all sorts of stuff from the mid 1900s. So there is stuff out there that we're slowly finding more and more, but they're good at eliminating stuff. Like the story of the Iron Republic was in Florida Magazine in a series of articles, and you can't find a single copy of that magazine anywhere, which is weird, right? You can find a copy of anything, right? Go on eBay, whatever. It might cost you a lot of money, but every single real copy of that magazine has been removed from the public.
And what was that topic?
It was the Iron Republic, which is, there's a book in the book section. It's about a politician out of excuse me, out of New York. That guy in the 1800s got tired of politics and sold everything, bought a ship, went to Antarctica, found some opening, goes through that, and then back out in the sea. And then they were lost for a couple of months. And then they found land. They saw a city. They pulled up. They waited till the morning, and a boat came out, greet them. They're like, "Hey, where are we? We're from America. Where are we?" And they're like, "Well, you're at the Iron Republic." And they said, "Well, where's that?" He goes, "Well, it's on the other side of the ice wall, about the same distance as America is." Didn't quite understand. He went in and he took notes and everything. He actually stayed there for, I think, 10 years because he ended up meeting a woman, got married. Then his wife died. And he came back. He got his ship back, and he came back. He landed in Florida, and he wrote all of his notes down, saying, this was an advanced civilization. They had flat screens and electric cars that hovered in midair, and all sorts of stuff that, like, he's writing that in 1901, right when it was published, and it was quite an interesting story that rings true. Whether it's true or not, kind of doesn't matter. It kind of does matter, but he was talking about more land beyond Antarctica in the late 1800s. So there's something to it. There's a whole bunch of books. Another one called The Smoky God, same